we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna sit 10k off a target. We're gonna blap it really quick, and then we're gonna warp to the run spot. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Outstanding. Okay, stand by.
So hey guys, here's the deal. They got their prophecy fleet up, and then Razor also has an oracle fleet. So we should have some interesting stuff about to happen.
So it's going to be like this. We're going to portal through, and at the same time, the triage carriers are going to jump. Just the triage carriers at first. Everyone clear?
Let me see. Oh crap. I think... Will we be able to take on Guardians?
Yeah, they got 4 Guardians. I don't think we should do this.
we can do this.
Don't worry about that.
Now we're gonna fucking play some fun games.
My heart's racing.
And relax. All wings align. Primary is the Dominics in 5, 4, 3, 2. Decloak, decloak, decloak. Torpedoes on the Dominics. Dominics, Dominics.
Orbit on me, micro warp drives on. We're moving.
Secondaries, Vipers, and the Omen.
He's in structure. Take him down.
Nude that revelation out now.
All newts on the rev.
Burn out towards that Guardians now.
All damps on the damnation, all damps on the damnation. Scepter, stay here and tackle prophecies. This is where we fight.
Alright. So I'm carrying 100 times more than my ship is worth. There were some pirates chasing me. There's one guy chasing me through like 5 different systems. I need to get the fuck out of this system.
This little rock right here is worth about 166 million ISK. For some people this might not be a big deal, but for me, it's huge.
Seller 4.2, pretty nice. Gonna produce 4 of them, 2 days, 19 hours, 11 minutes, 44 seconds. We can expect to make 8 to 10 million around there.
51 out of 56 grid. Okay, good. And we've got 5 modules to fit in here. The ship's speed is actually pretty good. It can hit 4K a second. We're gonna hurt that now by adding on some armor buffer.
Up, success. Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Yay, salvaged so much fun.
Oh yeah, such fun. It's almost done now. Like, less than a week. Oh look. Okay,
Whoa.
good. Oh,
Whoa.
shit.
Oh. Wow.
That is Rixing Gigs right there.
Archivian silos down, Archivian silos down. Go, 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 silos down. Portal, portal, primary.
Gate is green, gate is green. Sniper skills to long range utilize BSC. Aggregates idle and green, come on.
Oh shit, how do I warp to something?
E-war drone. All E-war drones on Scum.
Where are you decloaking?
Patch, all of you, the secondary. Oh my god, that's a titan! Holy shit!
Let's go, get those fucking bombs out. Red group fire, gold group stand by. Come on, boys. Come on, come on, come on, yeah! Yeah! Oh, that's fucking sweet.
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of EVNT Fight Club. We've got some super cool matches lined up for you. I know what most teams are going to be flying if they stick to the new tool that we've been using, and this definitely looks like some of the best lineups we've seen so far. I've got an amazing team working with us again tonight. Streaming for you tonight is going to be Mr. Sutonia. Your host this evening is going to be the one and only Elise Randolph, supported by a really good team here on the floor and in the booth. We have Chesser, we have Madden back with us tonight, we have Starfleet Commander, we have Chocolate Rain with us again, and guest commentator Theron as well, Theron Valarax. So I'm really looking forward to the commentating very shortly. Tonight, obviously, like I said, we're going to be doing the EVNT Fight Club, which is a 5 versus 5 match. Between 8 teams over the league. They will be using pre-fit setups Tech 1 variants of battleships, battlecruisers, cruisers, destroyers, and frigate. If you want to check out the exact fittings and the rule sets, please go and check out our website. That's www.evetacnt.uk. And I think, other than a quick thank you for our sponsors, EveBet, who've generously sorted out our staff with a little gift this evening, and obviously have the betting enabled on their website as well. So if you're quick, you can still get your bets on the matches this evening. But other than that, I'm going to hand over to Elise, and I think the teams will be ready very shortly as well. So Elise, please take it away.
Oh, thanks for the introduction. I am Elise Randolph. I'll be your host for this penultimate match of or penultimate week of EVT Fight Club. We've got some great teams. We've got all the teams ready. Everyone's excited. Everyone's like raring to go, and they're actually on the field now. So I am going to pass off to the commentators for the first match of the day. It'll be Pretty Freaking Reluctant versus the Test Alliance Please Ignore team, and your commentators will be Rain, Chocolate, and Chesser. So take it away, guys.
All right. Hey guys, welcome to the arena. I'm Chesser, joined with Rain. We have for you today the test team bringing a Prophecy, Hyperion, Algos, Incursus, and Exquer. And Rain, do you want to introduce Team Pretty for us?
Yeah, Team Pretty has the Apocalypse, the Harvey, the Exquer, the Algos, and the Tristan.
So definitely a big dichotomy here between the teams. Test warping the Prophecy and the Hyperion at 0, while the Pretty team is at range. What do you think Pretty team's trying to do here with this APOC setup? Not a battleship you see very frequently.
Well, it doesn't look like they want to get in too close, especially since the Hyperion and the Prophecy are sitting at 0, whereas the other team's sitting 50 off. So it doesn't seem like they're going to want to immediately go running at Team Test.
No, I definitely agree. With the Algos, as well as, you know, the APOC starting at range, it looks like they're going to want to use drones, heavy pulse lasers to try and kite out the Hyperion and the Prophecy for as long as possible. I really like that Team Pretty is going with something a little bit like non-standard. You know, it looks like, to me, Tess is going with like a Galente Rush kind of setup here. Match is starting in 5 seconds. Why don't you give us the play-by-play, Rain?
Okay, we'll do. All right, so the match is just now starting, so we can start seeing them move across the map. Both the Incursus and the Algos of Team Test are immediately moving. They're kind of sitting. So as predicted, Team Pretty is actually pulling back and launching those drones right away. Then we can see the Hyperion and the Prophecy from Team Test immediately going to move in.
Wow, Algos taking heavy damage here. He needs to be careful. He's already in armor. Luckily, he's sitting right on top of his Logi, but we'll see if Tomoxa can keep up the Algos from the Exquer. It looks like the APOC is getting some really good hits in here. It looks like they're changing damage again here. I'm wondering if they can kite. It takes a lot of skill to be able to move around an APOC that's plated inside of this arena, so they're going to need to be careful here. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do when they get to the first turn.
Yep, and there the drones go. The drones are actually now finally moving across the map. You got, it looks just like drone warfare, as well as the big ships just kind of shooting at each other.
Yeah.
It's kiting. They're definitely kiting.
No, most certainly, most certainly. I'm kind of interested to see here what their next target's going to be, just because the Pretty team doesn't really have any great target to go after here. The Prophecy is very, very tanky, as well as the Hyperion, not to mention the fact that there's an Exquer in the background that, for the most part, should be able to keep up what little DPS Pretty team's going to be able to do. And right up here, they're against the wall, and they're not moving anymore. This Prophecy and Hyperion, they are closing range on this APOC, and if it gets caught, it's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yep. The drones aren't really doing much either. Now they're actually going in. So Team Pretty is actually going in. Their Algos is trying to at least get tackle on one of those battleships, battle cruisers. But otherwise, go on.
Oh no, this is really strange for me. You're looking at a ship with the APOC that has a roughly, 70 to 60 kilometer range, and they're not going for the Exquer. They're focusing all of their damage, a lot of the APOC damage, on this Algos. It looks to me like the Prophecy and the Hyperion has scrammed the Algos of Pretty, which is an absolute terrible misplay, and the Prophecy right here is going to run down the Harbinger. I think the APOC has escaped, luckily, but I don't know why they're taking so long to get damage on this Exquer of Test, because if that Exquer stays alive, I just don't know how Pretty's going to be able to break any of their tanks.
I actually don't see either of the teams going for the Logi, which is actually really surprising because most teams generally go for the Logi first. But it looks like they're just attacking their battle cruisers for the most part and trying to take down that small tackle.
I think the small tackle here is interesting because there's so many light drones on the grid that I think it's very difficult for a light tackle to at least live without Logi support. But so if you can kill that Logi, you know, it's going to be a really, really strong move. It looks like they're totally getting into fight here. They have the X-Square just still completely isolated by itself. No one's really going for it.
Well,
APOC is still by itself. It's
Team
very
Pretty's
strange.
Algos, the Team Pretty Algos has tackled the Hyperion, but it also looks like the Test and Cursus is protecting it. But I mean, I'm actually really surprised Team Pretty's not destroying that Algo since he's kind of holding that battleship down.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to me that no one's lost a ship yet, and there's like all this damage spread out amongst both teams. It doesn't seem like they're really calling a primary target very hard at all. You know, luckily, I think the APOC is still not scrammed or webbed, which is really important, but the Team Pretty's Harbinger is definitely locked down by the Prophecy for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, is Tess
And
going to be
Algos.
the one to lose? Oh!
Yeah, Tess just lost their Algos. Holy cow. Logi's been doing good so far, holding people up, except now Team Pretty, their Executor is actually starting to die.
Yeah. Now I think they're finally making the call to go after a Logi ship, and I think it's been, you know, many minutes into the fight already. I almost want to say it's too late of a call, but he's taken heavy damage. I think maybe this is what they should have tried to do earlier.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, they're trying to get him. They're trying so hard. It's so funny.
Kind
He's
of.
like,
I
he's
still
burning
don't
away.
understand why this poor X-Square, Tomox's X-Square, is taking no damage. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
Well, I mean, even Pretty's Executor is just kiting out. This other ship just let the Apocalypse shoot at him.
It's really interesting to watch like new teams that don't play a lot of tournament meta like fly like this, just because of their like target calling. Like if you look over like the entire grid, they have so much damage spread out through everywhere. Joshua needs to be careful here in Test Prophecy. I don't know if Tomoxa is going to be able to hold him up, even though Tomoxa is still taking no damage. He's been doing a really good job so far, but now damage put on the Incursus, man, it's just so back and forth. I don't even know how to commentate fast enough. Just so many random target switches.
I mean, Team Pretty's doing what you said at the beginning, just kite them out, and it looks like it's actually working for them. I mean, they're just kiting out that Prophecy, and since no one's going for Team Pretty's Apocalypse or Harbinger, like, they're able just to free fire.
Yeah, it looked to me like the test team actually took their Prophecy off the Harbinger and is now burning down to try and kill Pretty's X-Square, but I think this call is too little too late. The Prophecy is holding up underneath the damage of, you know, the APOC and the Harbinger, but it's closing in on this X-Square now. And if the Prophecy can catch it, I think that we might see a slow change in the swing of the battle here, because the X-Square only has some light armor maintenance spots, which is not going to be enough to save it from the Prophecy.
Yep, and he's just now getting damaged as well. Whereas Team Pretty's not really having anything bad happen for them, I guess. I don't know. Like, they're just sitting there.
Not yet. They're completely holding down the Hyperion. The Hyperion is being held down by an Algos of Pretty, and I have no idea why this Algos isn't taking more damage or why it isn't dead yet.
Initially, I saw that he was, and then Cursus went after him, but for whatever reason, then Cursus pulled off, and then they just kind of like left him there to do his thing.
Yeah, the big linchpin going on right now is that the Prophecy is right on top of Team Pretty's X-Square. The thing is, though, is the APOC is shooting Tomoxa's Test's X-Square, and they're both going to go down here. I think Tomoxa's actually going to go down first here before Harvox. Oh, Tomoxa is down. I think Test is in a really bad position right here, because this Hyperion of Test has been doing, Soldarius has been doing nothing all fight, completely held down by this Algos, who is a hero Algos, by the way. Completely saving the fight.
Oh my gosh.
So now,
like,
now they're just focusing on the light. Now they're just focusing on all the light ships here. Harvox is going to go down, I would assume, shortly with the Prophecy right on top of him. But he is tanking like a boss. Really, really well played by Harvox. And the only thing that Phoenix has to do now in the APOC is just literally just sit up in his high perch and just rain down Scorch on the Prophecy, which he's doing wonderfully right now. Once the Prophecy's out of the picture, the Hyperion of Test has been completely ineffective and relegated to just slow boating towards the fight, but he's not going to make much of a difference. Prophecy going down now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Looks like a clean sweep by Team Pretty. Holy cow.
It's a really, really nice sweep, actually. Rain, I just have to say, I am really impressed that this Algos has not died to the Hyperion. You know, you'd think getting that close it would go down, and it's not even an armor. It's
no,
really...
it looks like he doesn't even notice the Algos is there. I mean, it looks like he's, like webbed, just like slow boating around this Hyperion.
Man, but a really good fight nonetheless. Very, very good fight. Lots of spread damage early, kind of chaotic, kind of hectic. Oh, there's some smart bomb animation that we're seeing now, finally, from the Hyperion.
Because he has all those drones on him. You could just see the drones fly across the field the moment everyone else was dead.
Yeah, the Hyperion obviously being the toughest nut to crack here. saving him for last, but he's going to definitely go down underneath the withering DPS that a Harbinger and APOC is going to be able to bring against him. Overall, really well flown by Pretty. I was initially worried when they were screening targets and the Prophecy had the Harbinger, but it looks like the Hyperion didn't screen off the Algos ever and never could get fully engaged in the battle, and essentially never could bring its blasters to bear, that nice DPS, which is really what you kind of wanted to do. Rain, what do you think? Do you think that if Pretty would have focused on the Executor first of Tomoxa, do you think this fight would have maybe gone better for them? I mean, it obviously did go very well, but what do you think Tess could have done to maybe make it a little bit closer match?
I want to say they should have just focused. I mean, it seemed like neither team really focused, and that's kind of frustrating to watch. This kind of makes it hard to call what they're doing. But I really wish, like, if they had both focused, I think that would have been a lot better.
All right, so do you think that Tess would have been better, all just trying to bum rush onto the X-Square of Team Pretty, or do you think it was better to try to like go one ship for one ship?
I think they should have gone for the Executor first, because they almost had it with their Prophecy, but he just wasn't able to keep up, and all the light tackle was just off doing other things. Like, he had no backup. So I don't know. These guys need to get it together. Team Tess does.
Yeah, we're getting close to 1 minute here. I wonder if they'll be able to break the Hyperion of Soldarius. It looks like they might be able to, but it's going to be close either way. Hyperions, for those of you that may not know, are a Galente battleship that are basically the masters of active tanking. They can support an absolutely tremendous tank, but obviously not enough to hold off against an entire team of 5 ships. Wow, I have to say, really interesting start. Good flying from Pretty on this first match. Really, it was cool to see. Me and Rain are going to send it back to the booth so that way we can have a little bit of post-game commentary.
All right, guys, what a great match to start off things. Test and Pretty freaking reluctant. Test, you know, they're smugging that they got 1,000 dudes on their move up right now, but I mean, that doesn't mean much when you're fighting here. Like, who cares? So yeah,
Exactly.
Pretty freaking reluctant, taking it really decidedly. It looked like a really even match in the beginning, and lots of positioning going on back and forth. Pretty curious result, I'd say. So let's start things off with Starfleet. Starfleet Commander, what do you think about the ship choices that the two teams took?
Well, they were very like in line with what they wanted to do. The thing that really got me when I saw these teams were pitting is Pretty had a clear plan. Go 50, shoot tackle coming in, kite away. That's what they'd done the entire game. They were going really close to the edge of the arena. But I was a bit surprised that Tess didn't bring their Algos and Incursus with the Hyperion and Prophecy. You would have thought that they need to get something, you know, they need to get something tackled, don't they? They need to lock something down. But instead, Pretty, as Chester was talking in the break, just sent an Algos to go and tackle a Hyperion, and then that Hyperion did literally nothing the entire match and didn't even bother shooting him, which was absolutely bizarre. I don't know why he didn't just turn around and kill the Algos, because their Logi was being chased off as well. So, very interesting match. That was, like they said, it was being shot everywhere. People getting killed left, right, and center.
All right, so Theranth, tell me about like some of the drone choices that these teams saw. We saw Test and like both teams took very different drone layouts from one another. What did you see?
Yeah, the test mainly went for the damage drones, which kind of makes sense because they had Prophecy in their setup, so it obviously relies on those drones to deal any kind of damage across the field. However, the Hyperion was sporting August 1, which is kind of, I don't know, I don't like that choice because it adds some damage, of course, and you can project that slowly, but he was pinned down by this light tackle. If he had put out the EC drones of some sort, or even light drones, and put them on this Algos, he maybe could have been broken free or forced it off, and then be more meaningful in the fight.
Oh, good stuff. Man, I know you're a big fan of watching these EC drones, and you think they're really strong, especially in this format. But apart from that, what do you think about just the ship selection of basically the difference between taking the APOC and the Hyperion. Do you think that was like a big deciding factor, or was it more the way the pretty freaking reluctant team flew it?
Yeah, I
Balance
mean, I think,
projection. Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, I mean, I was gonna say, I think it made a difference. I mean, certainly, I think the APOC proved to be a little bit more valuable in this match versus the Hyperion, but I think it was more usage than anything else. You know, you pick different drones. You know, I think a bigger part of the match was the fact that you had Tech 2 Logi drones, those medium Tech 2s, plus EC drones, versus a bunch of Tech 1 ogres and things like that, which, you know, they're slow, they're not gonna apply their damage as well, especially to small stuff. You know, the fact that these guys aren't shooting the Logi, they're not shooting the Execure. Oh, then they are shooting the Execure. Test got it down to like 70% armor, and then they just kind of gave up on it and started shooting the Algos again. I mean, that's what I think decided the match more than the APOC versus Hyperion. I mean, I'm not sure which one of those is really going to win that, but I don't think it decided it here.
Oh, good insight. Good insight there. Chester, you and Rain were talking earlier or during the match about the target selection and how it was bouncing back and forth. Tell me a little bit about what you think was good with the target selection, what wasn't good with the target selection, and did it change the outcome of the match for you?
Yeah, I think it changed the outcome of the match pretty single-handedly, just because the Pretty team had to not only screen for their APOC, which is very vulnerable if it gets caught, and it also needs to screen for their Logi ship. So, you know, if the Galente Rush team chooses one of those targets, or even better, can split them and go after them, they're going to be really in a good position. And it looks like the only thing that got a heavy tackle originally was the Prophecy on the Harbinger, which isn't really the best option that you want to go for. I mean, it's a plated APOC, so while it can attempt to kite, it really can't do it very well. And the fact to me that the Galente team didn't all burn in together at one target and then just lock it down and make sure that the Hyperion came with them was really poor play. Like, the Hyperion is the crux of that team. You know, the Hyperion needs to get on stuff, and then with its just face melting DPS, just to bring it down and use it as a battering ram, which they didn't do at all. They left it just kind of sitting in left field doing nothing. And I think the call to go after Logis came after like 1 to 2 minutes after everything had already been intercepted or was already scram webbed, and that was too late as well. So I think it was mostly piloting issues on both sides. Well, not really on both sides, in a sense on both sides, but more severely on test side.
Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, as you mentioned during your commentating, that when teams, and these teams may not have been able to fly in things like the Alliance Tournament. Obviously, we've recognized some of the pilots from the test team from Alliance Tournament, but when you get in this situation, it's really, really bizarre. It's different from everything you do on TQ. Rain, I'm going to ask you a question about, I kind of want to ask you a question about the Algos piloting, because we saw, as you mentioned, one Algos pilot, the Algos pilot for test, seemed to be a little bit haphazard in his flight, and the Algos pilot for Pretty Freaking Reluctant seemed to be completely on point. Is that a safe assessment, or like, do you think the Pretty Freaking Reluctant team had better backup, better support for their Algos? Tell me about that.
I think it could be a mix of both, because obviously the Algos pilot for Team Pretty got tackled by the Hyperion, but at the same time he still held him down, still just like kept him in one spot and didn't allow him to participate in any of the fights till the very end when they killed him. So I mean, granted, you could say, well, he was, you know, not very piloting very well because he was tackled and like almost held down by the Hyperion, but at the same time the Hyperion didn't shoot him. The Hyperion didn't put drones on him, so the Algos just kind of orbited him, just held him down in place. He did chase off an Incursus though, which I didn't really understand. I thought the Incursus was going to come defend the Hyperion, but instead he just kind of flew off and ended up dying.
Yeah, I really like I mean, as you mentioned, the Algos piloting for the Pretty Freaking Reluctant team was kind of better, but the Algos pilot for the test team was named Red Burly Squirrel. So I mean, that's kind of a thing, right?
I'm just blown away that the Hyperion did not scram web the Algos and turn its smart bomb on and just like absolutely blow it to pieces. Like, the fact that the Algos was sitting next to that Hyperion for that long in full shields is just, I just don't understand.
I think you're right.
It's really bizarre, because like I think Hyperion was shooting null like in the first few minutes of the match. So like,
yeah,
he wasn't even trying to free himself, which was crucial.
Yeah, no. The Hyperion, the great thing about the Hyperion is, especially with the Scram Web and blasters with antimatter, it tracks very well, and it's definitely going to track a Scram Web destroyer that isn't necessarily overtly fast or even small sig. I mean, it's going to wreck it. And I mean, it's just a huge piloting misstep on the Hyperion's problem. You know, Hyperion's fault. If the Algos wanted to donate itself and walk into Scram web range, it should have been an easy kill of the Hyperion, and the Hyperion could have still just kept burning for either the Harbinger, which was still captured, or burn after the APOC.
All right, well, let's looks like we're almost ready for the next match, guys. By the way, as you guys might have heard, we were talking about the fittings for these guys. The fittings for both of these teams are public. You can find them on the EVENT website. So it's eve-nt.uk. You can find it under the Fight Club rules. So the Hyperion, it does have a smart bomb, as you heard Chester mention. It's not just it's not like these guys are choosing completely strange setups. They do this on purpose because they have to. The intricacies from these teams or from this format comes from selecting your ships and the way you put it together more than the fits themselves. But we are ready for the second match. And the second match is Scram Team 6 versus the Footwork team. Should be really fun. It will be commentated by Madden and Theron. So we'll send it over to those guys.
All right, and well, here we are with Scram team versus the Kick guys and Footwork. Don't worry about your screen, guys. These are exactly the same fits, same ships on both sides. You are not seeing double. This is what we're seeing. So I'll talk about the left side, and Theron can talk about the right side, and we'll see if he has different things to say about these ships. But you got the Ravens, you got the Drakes, you got the Ospreys. A nice, interesting shield setup. We'll see how it does. A nice mirror match. You always love to see those.
Yeah, it's interesting that they warped at 50 kilometers each. So it puts them actually closer that if they would warp from a different warping spots, they are roughly something like 50 kilometers between each other. So the damage is going to land pretty quickly on this one.
Yeah, but I'm sure I'm sure they were, maybe thinking they'd find something similar, but they're a little bit closer probably than they plan to be. And obviously, finding out that you're up against exactly what you're in, they say, all right, this is the best I could come up with versus what's existing. Well, now, how piloting you do, that's so important. How good a pilot are you? That's crazy.
Yeah, this is going to be really important, how the logic pilots especially are going to handle the situation. The target calling and your favorite, the drone choice, is going to be really important this one.
Yeah, right? Like, okay, so basically, what are the things you could do different? You could target, you could tackle, you could fly, and you can drone. 10 seconds to go as we get into this. I'm really excited to see it. 3, 2. All right, and we're live. Let's see, what are they gonna do? Who's gonna go after first?
There's a little bit of pressure right now. First drones are being launched. It seems the Lumpy team has brought the Tech 2 shield boss, so...
Well, the Kick did too. They're both the same so far. Some ECM drones, Kick doing some ECMs, as the Drake from Scram is getting shot at. A surprising initial choice from my view. I don't know why they choose the Drake.
The Scram Talbot is actually put a little bit forward. The rest of the team, I don't know what is it gonna do. However, the Vigil is burning kind of below the team Footwork.
Now, I'll tell you right now, I think what's deciding this match, so Scram is shooting the Osprey from Kick, and I'll bet you over anything else, if they shoot on that Osprey, they stick on the Osprey, they burn it down, that's going to decide this match, because you can shoot a Drake all day, as long as the Osprey keeps it up, it doesn't matter. You kill the Osprey of Kick, that's the end of the match.
I didn't recall that. Could you tell me more about the fitting on the Osprey? Is it afterburner or MWD? Because that's also pretty important if you're facing the cruise missiles and heavy missiles.
Well, off the top of my head, I don't remember it. So I'm going to assume it's afterburner if I had to guess, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Either way, I'm excited to see this Drake now from Scram. It's actually hitting peak recharge. So if this Osprey is going to keep it up, it's going to have to do it right here. So that's a little bit of a decider. I did not think the Drake would go down to basically, a Raven and a Drake. I'm surprised that it's not able to counteract some of that.
You can see the afterburner working here because the Osprey is tanking with the signature. The Drake has heavy missiles. The Raven has cruise missiles, and no matter how much the TPs from the Vigil help, it's really important to get a web on the afterburning ship if you are shooting it with those big missiles. Otherwise, they're not going to apply even half of the damage. Because as some of you might know on the stream, the missile damage calculation consists of actually missile velocity and missile radius, explosion radius. So you have to make sure both of those factors are maxed out to apply full damage. And as I say that, the Drake is going into the armor. It's
we're
actually
about
going
to
to
see
hit
a nice
structures.
explosion here. I'm pretty excited to see this Drake explode. I really thought the Osprey, but as you say, very intelligently, that Afterburner is making the effect, and that Drake has no chance. It's dead in the water. You know, that Osprey can overheat whatever it wants, but that Drake's dead.
Yeah, after this Drake goes down, I don't think they're going to break the Osprey. I think it's going to be a clear sweep for Footwork.
I completely agree. I honestly thought that the Osprey was the better choice.
Boom,
but
it's down. Just
there
like
you
that.
go. And now we get to watch as they slowly pick apart the other team. You know, do they go after the Osprey? Do they decide maybe we can take out the Raven? You know, what a Kick's going to do next? Because you want to see more explosions. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, like they broke the Drake, they can easily break a Raven, and we can see the damage applied to the Raven right now. You see drones going for the Raven, I believe. I see the effect going on it, which is kind of an choice because he's got a smart bomb. He's just gonna Shrek him.
Yeah, but you know, at least you get to see them have some effect. You know, the Osprey can take a little bit of a breather.
Actually,
now they're shooting the other Osprey.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that. Told you. See, the Osprey's the right choice. Everybody's just trolling each other with the non-Osprey attack. I want to stand behind it, even though it's clearly been a poor choice because they've never taken down the damn Osprey.
I mean, they have all time in the world if they want right now, because the cruise missile Raven ain't gonna break anything without I don't know, some crazy good piloting by the Vigil, or maybe crazy bad piloting by the Footwork team.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't watching it, but Kix had a lot of ECM drones out for the majority of this match, and I wonder if that Drake and or Raven have been able to consistently fire at that Osprey, because even a small amount of time not firing, that's going to make a huge difference in a match like this, where the idea is you're just trying to, you know, get the Osprey down, burn him down, make him run out of charges, because that extra large ancillary will eventually run out of charges. That capacitor booster will eventually run out of charges. So I bet one of the reasons he's alive is because of those ECM drones.
If we can get a camera shot of that, there is a single Kick EC-300 Hornet drone being chased by entire swarm of the ECM drones from the other team. So I don't know if the drones set on auto aggro or something, and like the next thing that aggro the ship was this Hornet, but there's like a full swarm of ECM drones chasing another ECM drone.
Well, you know, as you
really
said,
funny.
targeting is important. Targeting is very important. They've chosen to target that ECM drone. That ECM drone is evil, and it must die. As this Osprey now sitting very perilously at 12% shields, all they have to do is now it's an armor. Can they kill the Osprey? Can they make this a match? Come on, guys. Kill the Osprey.
Actually.
Stop. Why? I just finish him off. 50% armor. This is it. This is the moment. You kill that Osprey. Your Osprey survives a little bit. Boom. Match.
He's going
they can still win this.
You know what? He was going actually only 300 meters per second. Maybe he was out of cap or something.
Oh yeah, the medium cap boosters. He's probably had to reload 3 times.
This is what I was saying earlier. You need to keep up the speed, otherwise they're gonna hit you.
Damn it! He recharged. It doesn't matter. They didn't shoot him fast enough. He's fine.
He's going over 500 now, so he's gonna be good now. If he keeps up the speed.
He reloaded the ancillary charges, so that's gonna give him more than enough time for them to take out the other Osprey in this match. See that's why, you know, you got to keep up with him. You got to watch what's going on. You got to make sure you finish the job. That's where overheating is so critically important. The moment they see weakness there, you overheat everything you got. Because you take out the Osprey, you win this match. You don't take him down. There's no way that Scram's going to be able to come back at this point. I don't think. Now they're switching to Drake.
Sorry to interrupt you, but in the same time, the Drake is taking damage now. So they have switched the target from the Osprey to the full AHP Drake. What do you think about that? Because you were just saying how important it is to stick to the target.
Well, you know, it just goes to show that, you know, people think, all right, now I didn't succeed in my objective. You know, he reloaded his charges. Now I'm going to give up and I'm going to try something else. Well, sometimes when you're in a perilous situation like this match, you know, while the first thought is, all right, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to, you know, take a chance. You got to recognize that even if you kill that Drake, how are you going to win this match knowing your Osprey is dead in, I don't know, 5, 4...
Look out, he's going into the structure.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing. You know, they switch targets. They're going to try and take out the Drake. Maybe they succeed, but even if they do, it has no effect on their chance to win this match.
And again, ECM drones are all on the Vigil, sitting on the Vigil, while the Kick Drake is actually going to hit armor soon. He's almost half armor. One volley, half armor from the Raven.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that they finally decided to, take out the Drake and that they're actually going to do that. But, what difference does it make when you've lost your Drake, you've lost your Osprey, you're going to lose your Vigil and Raven probably within, moments after you kill this Drake. It's just.
I don't know how much time we have, but that could be a crazy comeback from that.
Nah, we only got 2 minutes left, so this match is relatively well decided. It's just a matter of, can Kick keep their Drake alive? Can the Osprey be the hero he was always meant to be? Does that Raven have the ability to keep firing?
Considering there should be no drones. Yeah, there are no drones on him, then he should.
You'd think so, but he looks like he stopped. So I'm assuming. No, there we
Yeah,
go. He just hit reload. Yeah. So now he's firing again. So that Drake will probably die. I don't know.
In the meantime,
dead,
the Vigil that is completely jammed by the whole swarm of EC100 is primaried.
Well, hey, they took care of that problem, so they don't have to worry about that anymore. Come on, all right. I want to see at least something from Kick should die. Come on,
This Drake
Raven.
could
Burn him out.
Drake
Overheat everything.
Have decency. Ask him, have decency, and give him some points. At least some points, man.
Like, now they're putting ECM drones on him. No, don't do this. It's just not fair. Come on,
Maximum
Raven.
dishonor.
You can do it. Overheat your signal amplifiers that you don't have. Overheat them. Gotta love the sensor booster, the ability to overheat ECM now. I do love that as a change to this game.
There goes the smart
Yes!
Yes!
Killed the Drake. Yes, explosions from both sides. At least I can say that we brought the explosions. And, that's better than some people like Nash have been able to do in recent times. So thank you guys. You brought us explosions. We really appreciate that. As this match now has probably about a minute left. Now we could watch this Raven die in glorious 3D.
Beat it to it.
Look at all that damage, Mark. You gotta love a ship as it starts to die. You can see it basically just incinerate from the inside out.
Some people don't like it. Some people don't like this new feature, but it's actually pretty cool to me.
It's awesome. Plus they added legitimate explosions, so when ships die now they look more like they're dying. Another benefit of being on Sissy, we get to see all the new crazy stuff.
Look at all this damage on the Raven. Can he take Can he actually take the Osprey? Do we have enough time?
I don't know. Maybe.
He's still shooting.
Oh my god! 30 seconds. Come on! You can kill the Osprey. Come on, Raven. You can do it. Get another one! All right, no matter what happens here, this Raven is a hero Raven. We need to make that clear. Hero Raven, who 20 seconds. Can the Raven survive? I did not expect this. If this Raven survives, Mamoran and the Raven, wow, killed the Osprey and is in bed. 10 seconds.
10 seconds. He might do it. He might make it.
What a Raven! This is the best Raven pilot I've ever seen. He's a miracle worker.
3,
he's
2,
saving lives.
1. Yes, he survived.
Oh my god. Well, with that, I say thank you to Mamoran. You made this a fun match to watch, and we can bring it back to the booth.
Dude, those EC drones, crazy.
All right, guys, welcome back. That was actually an incredible match toward the very end. Cannot believe that Mamoran actually survived and got points for his team. In this format, it's not about winning the match. It's about how many points you get, since it's cumulative for the season. So he is doing a lot of service for his team by killing that Osprey right at the end. Man, that was incredible. So I want to get back to how we got here, how we got into this mirror matchup. Rain, we didn't really talk about bans for the last match, or for the first match, but tell me about the bans for this match.
All right,
and how
so,
it might have impacted what the teams took.
Yeah, so we're trying out a new tool where teams can actually ban ahead of time and we can all see them. So the Oracle, the Augur, the Tempest, the Brutix, and the Obscure were banned in that last match. So if you notice, the Augur and the Obscure were both armor logi. So it really shaped the way teams, I suppose, would pick, because a lot of people believe you need logi to actually succeed. So obviously you couldn't really bring any kind of armor fleets or armor ships, because they're all the armor logi were banned. So that's probably why we saw such a mirror matchup. I mean, the Raven's strong. Everyone loves the Drake. I know Vigil's a pretty popular pick. And so they matched that with the Osprey, since the Osprey wasn't banned. And that's probably why we kind of saw that mirror matchup.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Madden, I saw you talking about ECM drones and things like this. during the match. It seemed like the ECM drones were focused a lot on the vigils on both sides. Tell me about that. Did that play a role? Did that work out for them? Who got the best trade out of this?
Well, I think it may have worked a little bit. I mean, as Theron pointed out, some of the ECM drones were actually just following other ECM drones. So you got some auto-targeting things turning into basically weird things going in circles and having no effect. I think ECM drones did play a factor. Those vigils have a really nice amplification effect, especially for cruise missiles and heavy missiles. That amplification that enables them to actually hit their target. The Drake is relatively easy to hit, but when you're talking about smaller ships like a Vigil, like a Talwar, those are much more effective, those missiles if you actually have the target painters. So I think it made a difference. I don't think it made as much of a difference as in this match. I think it was really more about target calling, the fact that they, picked off the Osprey, the fact that they picked off that Drake first and made it and actually got it done. I think that was a bigger deal than the ECM drones here.
Great. Thanks for that. That's really interesting to see how when you're jammed, the drones just kind of do their own thing, and maybe they were like intentionally jamming their jam drones just to see how it would work out.
I think that jam drone was evil, and they really wanted it dead.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you got to kill that evil whenever you see it. Starfleet, we saw these Ospreys tanking for days, but not being able to rep so much. Tell me about the choice of taking the Osprey versus the Scythe, and a little bit about the fit for these particular Ospreys.
Well, the Osprey, as Theron was talking through the match, it's AB. So he's like a lot of most of the match, the Osprey that was being shot and didn't die for a while wasn't TP'd, and he was basically stick tanking the entire other team because Theron said, if you don't have a TP is all well and good, but really what makes the difference is when it's TP'd and webbed, so the speed is reduced and it actually will hit properly. The difference is the Osprey is an AB and the Scythe is a micro warp drive. So if they brought a Scythe, you're gonna be inherently at a disadvantage because if you want to be moving quickly, you're going to be increasing your signature radius and in turn increasing how much damage you're going to take. But what was interesting in this match is there are only 2 ships on either team that can actually lock things down. So you got the Drake, which actually has a web, a Tech 2 web, and the Vigil, which has a web and a TP. So I was very surprised to see that no one figured to sort of commit their Vigil, if you know what I mean, to kill a Logi, because I'm pretty sure that if the Vigil kind of committed itself to the Osprey and survived long enough, I think they would have killed the Osprey pretty darn quickly. I think that it would have died very quickly, or push the Drake out, push it out to catch the Osprey because it's going to catch it eventually because it's got micro warp drive Drake is faster than AB Osprey. So I was very surprised that no one really did that until the end, and I believe that the Footwork team did it to the Scram team. They put their Drake on the Osprey and then it died very quickly. But yeah, I was surprised that they didn't try and web them with the Vigil,
Indeed. All right, so Chesser, we got to see a lot about in these mirror matches, the difference between target selection is generally what wins the match. What do you think about going for the Drake over the Osprey and stuff like that? What do you think should have happened there, or do you think that was the right call? Did it affect the outcome of the match?
Oh, I think it was completely the wrong call to go after the Drake. That is definitely not the thing you want to be doing. In that matchup right there, if I would have been on the grid, it would have been all ECM drones on enemy Vigil, all DPS on Osprey, and get a web on the Osprey and just kill it. Once the Osprey is dead, kill the Vigil, and then at that point, your Osprey just can't die, and that's how you would win the match. They wasted so much time on that Drake, and if the Scram team would have kept on the Footwork Osprey instead of switching over to the Drake or doing whatever else, they would have kept on to that Osprey. I think they still would have come out actually pretty well, just because you waste so much time chunking through the Drake that you should be able to kill an XLASB Osprey because it only has 9 boosts. And if you get that web, even for a short period of time with the Drake or even with the Vigil, it's definitely the best way to go in those mirror matchups. Kill the Logi first every time.
All right, interesting take on that. Interesting take. It actually looks like our next team is set up and ready to go pretty quickly. So we'll start getting over to them. Actually, we're just waiting for one more pilot. So Theron, tell me a little bit about the swapping between targets that we saw in that match. We saw a team focus on an Osprey for an incredibly long time, then give up and then swap right at the end. What do you think about doing that in a setup like this?
Most of the time, it's a really bad choice because the Osprey is running AXLSB, so if it takes damage and heals itself, it's taking the charges from the ASB. So eventually, he's gonna be unable to tank. And given that the team Footwork brought no Logi drones, they just brought Acolytes 1, I think, and a lot of ECM drones. In the end, because I think they hit some light drones, but they wouldn't tank with only light drones. Like whatever, whenever you run out of the ASB charges, you're not gonna be able to tank for a long time. So they should have probably stick to the Osprey, and as a Starfleet said earlier, just dive the Vigil in, sacrifice it, but take a trade. It's a nab trade because you lose the Vigil for a Logi, so that's actually pretty good.
All right, well, we've got both teams set up to go for the next team. It's CleverGirls versus Johnny and Sons fencing specialists. The CleverGirls are the Horde team. Johnny and Sons are kind of parts of Tusker's team. So we're going to send this off to SFC or Starfleet Commander and Madden for the commentary. And see you soon.
Yeah, just say one. Oh. Welcome back, guys. We've got an amazing match here. My favorite team of the season is Pandemic Horde. I'm going to introduce them for you. Starfleet with Madden. So I'm going to introduce the Horde teams. We've got an APOC, an Executor, an Oracle, an Algos, and a Crucifier. Madden, why don't you just tell us what the Tusker's team has brought? Well, the Scrub Squad.
Yeah, the Johnny guys. I'm always excited to talk about some nice Tempest action. I love Mimitar, and these guys have gone right after my heart. Tempest, Cyclone, Thrasher, Little Osprey, and Merlin. Actually, they brought Caldari just because they like blue, apparently. But I'm excited about the Mimitar ships because this is basically Mimitar and Caldari versus Amar and Galente. That's a great matchup. You gotta love that.
Well, I think that the last time Fight Club was on, I did say that I think the Tempest is probably one of the strongest battleships in this, like in the fittings. There's so much damage. Once it gets on top of anything, it's gonna destroy whatever it's on top of. We've got 5 seconds countdown. Are you expecting a rush here? I am expecting a rush.
Oh, Mimitar rush! Come on, of course.
So the match is on the way. I'm going to expect to see the Cyclone, and the Tempest going straight in. This is what they need to do. They need to tackle.
Look at that Merlin and that Thrasher. They're going right after it.
The Merlin's at the back actually. It's surprising, but straight away on the Osprey. That's what they good type calling. Look at that. Look at the damage.
Osprey!
Look at the damage. Oracle and
he's
APOC.
Dead. He's gonna die. There's no chance.
No care.
Like they're gonna take that Oracle, but it's not gonna matter because that Osprey cannot possibly tank this.
It's armor Oracle, so it's absolutely fine. It's got this Osprey has an EM hole, so he needs to get his transversal up. He needs to turn. He needs to turn away right now, or he's gonna get melted.
He's overheating, and it's just not gonna make enough of a difference. If he's gonna have to reload eventually, and then boom, he's dead.
Yeah, if the Algos just dives in right now and webs him, he's gonna die instantly. They need to do that.
Good on Nuke here, just surviving that initial onslaught. Half structure, he didn't just have a heart attack and explode. He's still going after it. I think he's still dead no matter what he does, but I appreciate that he tried. The other guys, the rest of his team is letting him down here. They're still trying to take out this Oracle and completely failing.
There you go, and he's gonna go like Theron said, stick on the target and kill it, and there it goes. Osprey down, first blood.
Absolutely, yeah.
First blood to CleverGirls.
And I think CleverGirls basically just took the match. Obviously, Logic Hill is probably a pretty big deal, but they're still trying to shoot this Oracle, and it's not it's just not happening, guys. Now they're finally making some headway, but
I'm seeing. I think they might kill the Oracle, but what they should do, they're all in a massive ball right now. Everything's just on top of each other. They will kill the Oracle. It's gonna go down. I think it's gonna go down, but at the same time, the Thrasher's going down. Thrasher down right there. Easy, easy.
Plus they've been splitting their DPS. You see the Algos is taking damage, the Crucifiers taking damage. Yeah, they're killing the Oracle, maybe, I think. But while they've done this, they lost their Logi, they lost their Thrasher, and they haven't even started the exit gear. So, the other team has
the
Logi.
Oracle's
That's a pretty
down.
big
I think the Executor is tackled. The Crucifier is probably tracking disrupting the Tempest, so he's not applying full damage. But we got, this is going to go backwards and forwards, I think. The Oracle's gone. So it's a lot of damage.
I don't see how they can survive. The Merlin's about to get died to that Algos, I think. He just tackled him, so I'd assume that they can take it down.
Both
but if they take the Algos down,
both down.
I don't understand how the loss of Logi hasn't been a bigger impactor in this match. They haven't touched him.
This match is a good show of how you've got two good Tempest and Cyclone cores that can work on their own without a Logi. And the damage is now reduction. Remember, the Oracle's gone, and the Oracle's probably doing a lot of damage. The APOC's doing a lot, but the Oracle's doing way more damage than the APOC. So I think that this comes down to like Tempest, Cyclone versus like if they kill this Logi, I think the Tempest is going to win easily.
Yeah, if they can take the Logi down, I mean, this Crucifier is not going to make much of a
The
difference.
Crucifier
I mean, it'll
is
make a little
neutered.
bit of a difference.
The Crucifier is neutered for some reason. I don't know why he's even
Why would he be that
remotely
close?
He's close to this Tempest. Tempest can just honestly, he's not moving. He's going
Yeah, all right. Well,
300.
the Crucifier is bad at this game, so that's unfortunate.
But at the
for
same
them.
time, the Cyclone is not tanking. He can't tank this APOC on his own, so he's going to go down. But the Tempest
They
could
gotta,
turn around.
the thing is, they haven't gotten the Execute. I mean, he's not even like, slightly in damage. I don't know what these guys are doing now. It's unfortunate. I think they're probably jammed or something.
Maybe there's a lot of ECM drones out in the field right now. There seems to be all over the Cyclone, so he's probably not going to be locking anything out. But I think it's all slowed down. The match has literally slowed down where we've got the Cyclone dying, but it seems that the Johnny side has sort of stopped shooting things and the Cyclone goes down.
Yeah, well, I think that's that's power of ECM drones. They had still the APOC, still the Execute. They still got a good number of drones out, and that's enabled them to at least occasionally get a jam cycle. You see, the Tempest is now firing again.
The
but
Tempest has now
way too late.
decided, screw the Execute, I'm gonna go for the APOC and just try and burn him down. He has got an ASB tank on this Tempest, but look at the damage on this APOC. Look at the damage just from one Tempest. He's taking. He won't break him, I doubt it, but like he's still gonna do a lot of damage. But Tempest will die eventually because I think the Crucifier is actually is hurting a lot more than what we're seeing on the surface.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean the Crucifier is a very effective ship against Mimitar autocannons.
But
no
we
doubt
do have
about
to
it.
say that he has not got any scripts on his tracking disruptions, so it's going to be a very like general tracking disruption onto the Tempest like range and the fall off and the tracking speed. So, but I think that probably did hurt him a lot in this match.
Yeah, no. I think the Crucifier made a difference here. I think it was probably a good ship choice. I think it made a bigger difference than that Merlin did his tackle. Having that ability to have a bonus secondary skill beyond just kind of marginal DPS or tackle, I think was more important in this match because no one's trying to kite. But still, it's interesting to see a Tempest here. I think it would have been nice if the Cyclone could have taken out the Execute and we could have seen Mimitar win because I'm a Mimitar fan. But all the same, good on CleverGirls here. Good on Pandemic Hard to really take this match.
Peel done a good job here. They brought and their target calling was bang on, I believe. Go for
Absolutely.
that Osprey. They saw it and they went for it and it was good and they killed it quickly. If they didn't go for that, this game could have gone completely different. They wasted time going for something else. It could have given the Tempest and the Cyclone time to wear down the enemy team. You saw they killed the Oracle through reps, so imagine if the Oracle died and they had the Osprey still alive. That could have just been completely a different match.
Well, not only that, but the fact is that Osprey was in half structure, and then it managed to burn away and actually get itself back up to half shield, 75% shields, and it was still going. So the fact is, they stuck with the Osprey. They didn't say, screw it.
Exactly.
He's fine. And they actually stuck with it. They burned him down like 30 seconds or a minute later. And that's the difference between, actually taking the match, actually, continuing on with a strong strategy, even when you hit a little bit of a bump. And
just keep going, just stick to it and go for it. Stick to it and go for it. That's what we say. But the Osprey at the same time, he was burning. The reason why he took so much damage at the start is he was burning straight towards them and took a chunk of damage. But he sort of, when he pulled back slightly, he was sort of moving away at an angle to try and get his transversal. But it's just not enough against APOC. And plus the APOC's got a tracking computer in the mid slot, so he's going to be tracking quite easily at 50k, and that's what they warped. They warped in at about 50k from each other, I think, or did they warp at opposite angles? I can't remember.
I think they were actually a little bit of opposite angles, but all the same, I think that just goes to show the power of piloting, especially in a 5-on-5 format. Like this, something like a kind of a newbie tournament.
I said this Tempest is still
He's
on.
He's holding on. He's done an amazing job to not die, but at the same time, I mean, he's in structure. He's
doing 800. He's going to do he's doing about 800 DPS roughly on that Tempest.
It was funny, you had if he has a few more seconds of Logi, attacks that APOC a little bit longer. He probably actually takes the APOC down, even just basically by himself. So it's funny to say, all right, this Tempest is clearly that much stronger. But the Oracle made the difference.
I mean, look at this. Look at the APOC. He's going down, even though he's in structure. This Tempest is still fighting. Come on. I want this Tempest. I want this Tempest to win. Come on.
I know, me too.
No. He dropped. There we go. With that, we're going to see #CleverGirls take the match, even though with a couple of losses. And with that, we'll send it back to the analysis desk with Elise Randolph and the others.
Oh man, what a match that was. We saw CleverGirls go out throwing punches early, and then right at the end, the Johnny team just comes right back and keeps everything together. Rain, tell me about like the importance of these teams maintaining their composure, especially when once you get like a really devastating loss early on.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize how intimidating it is being in these tournament style matches where everyone's watching you and every slight mistake you make could cost you the whole match. So I think that poor Osprey actually did pretty well. He managed to kind of save himself at the beginning. Obviously, he kind of fumbled at the beginning with his transversal, but he managed to like kind of recover, and then he ended up just dying off anyway because he had to reload that booster, that Ansel rep booster. But I think like people don't realize how difficult it is to kind of maintain the composure, not panic, not freak out. And it's kind of ironic that I say that because I'm usually pretty known for screaming and clicking all my buttons in a match. But I think the teams did pretty well, especially with the really, really exciting beginning that they had.
I just want to say, I did the. I don't think the Osprey actually used all its charges. I think it died before he even went to reload, I believe. Anyone else noticed? I think so. I think he didn't do it all. I didn't think he got through them all.
Oh, I thought he was on reload because he would look like he was at full health and then just immediately plummeted again.
He died.
No, it's the same way at the beginning of the match because he was actually being burned right to structure. Even like just that's all his shields. The Oracle and the APOC were able to just alpha him off the field. So that's because he had no armor, he had no structure. It didn't matter that he had charges left. I think the SFC is right here.
Well,
I think that I think he just was burning. He was just taking too much damage for him to even rep back. So, but
yeah.
He was probably doomed from the beginning. To be honest, like he's got an EM hole, so it's kind of like they had the ripe target for the at the start.
He held on a little bit though.
He did his best, honestly, in that match. He did his absolute best to just try and towards the end try and mitigate a bit of the damage by moving off to the left. But it just his boy wasn't going to survive anyway, unfortunately.
This reminds me of the conversation we had APOC versus Hyperion, because there were two ships on the CleverGirls side that were able to track to 70 kilometers, the Oracle and the APOC, on their own without any support.
Yeah, that's what I want to.
I actually disagree. The Osprey should have been able to live. It was bad piloting. Oh yeah, I definitely think so. You need to have a heated AB, heated invuln, heated XLASB before they even say go. And the second they say go, you're turning allowed to the heated AB, and then you're just spiraling out and away. The time that they wasted shooting the Osprey was enough for the Cyclone and the Tempest to kill the Oracle. Once the Oracle's dead, the Osprey can then re-enter the fight when one of them is getting low, and just keep those two ships alive. Also, the Tempest horribly misplayed the APOC X-Square Crucifier fight. It could have ran down the Crucifier, neutered the shit out of it, put drones on it, and killed it. And then it's the X-Square and APOC. The Tempest has the mobility advantage, so it can get onto the X-Square and nute the shit out of it, kill it while tanking the APOC, and then just ram the APOC and kill it in that order. He stuck around for so long trying to get through an APOC with X-Square DPS, with X-Square reps. If he would have done that order, he would have been able to do it. Or if not, clawed the points back very, very closely to a tie game, because he definitely could have been able to kill the Crucifier and the X-Square before being killed by the APOC for sure.
Yeah, points are incredibly important in this format, especially every point you get, it's worth a lot for your team since they're just added up through the entire season. We talked about a little bit about this, but what do you guys think about? I guess I'll direct this towards Chester. What do you think about taking a ship like the Crucifier when you have two ships that have large turrets and kind of want to pin stuff down early? Do you think it's better to take something like obviously the Vigil was banned in this match, but something like a Merlin, like we saw the Johnny team come out with, really durable tackle?
I actually don't like durable tackle all that much in this format. I personally think that the points that you have with your frigate should be put into an E-warship, because the E-warship can help maximize your battlecruiser and battleship DPS, which I think if you can maximize that damage potential, you're going to get more bang for your buck out of your points than just having a tackle ship. Provided that you can use the battlecruiser for like a big screen, and you can either screen their very dangerous battleship off and then just let their battlecruiser sit on your battleship and let your Logi run free, or they go after your Logi and you go to their Logi, having the ability for your battleship to really apply the DPS that they can bring to bear with their guns is, I think, more important than just having an extra screening ship, which in this format, most battleships can actually scram web and kill instantly anyway.
All right, Theron, and I think you touched on this a little bit before. I wouldn't mind you elaborating. We saw the CleverGirls take a very DPS-heavy setup, while it looked like the Johnny team took a little bit more of a sustained setup. Do you think that's a good idea in this type of format where points matter and points mean everything? Or do you think, I mean, it was just kind of a lucky break for them?
It all depends, because I'm personally not a big fan of Tech 1 Cruiser Logi. But in this format, they actually do something as opposed to even Collides or Alliance Tournament. So it's really like what approach you want to go for, because both of them are viable. It's a matter of bringing the right ship to do the job. Even like Chester said, the Evo frigates, they are extremely powerful. The smaller the format is, and in this one, if they would have brought, for example, a Mollis, I personally believe, based on the fits of the ships available, that the Mollis would do the better job. But the Mollis got banned for this match, so they were unable to do that. So they went with the second best option for what they wanted to do, which is Crucifier. And there was a slight misplay on his part as well when he let the Tempest near them out for whatever reason.
I mean, it is hard when these matches go for as long as they are to keep track of where you are. Like we said before, when you haven't flown in the Alliance One a lot, like positioning is a little bit strange. But we've got the next team ready. We're gonna try and get to them real quick since all these matches have been going like the distance. It's pretty incredible to see it come back. But coming up next is the Democratic Republic of Kanye, which is a great name, versus Scrub Squad. We've got, let's see, Theron and Chesser. You'll be taking it over.
Hello everyone, we're here in the match between the Democratic Republic of Kanye versus Scrub team. I'm Theron Valarax from Thera, and with me is Chesser. Chesser, why won't you tell me something about the Scrub team first?
Yeah, so we have the Scrub team with Osprey, Drake, Talbar, Raven, Vigil. And can you introduce Kanye for us?
Yeah, the Circle of Two guys brought in an Apocalypse, a Hurricane, an Executor, Algos, and a Griffin. Another nice Ewo frigate in this 5-man format.
Yeah, I think Griffin's actually an interesting call here just because of how bad General Evor is with these setups, not allowing to scripts, not allowing racial ECMs. Can you tell me a little bit about the Warpins here? What are you thinking, Theron, about their positioning? Who do you think is more advantageous in this?
I think it's a little bit skewed towards the Scrub team, but the Kenya team they brought an APOC, so APOC can hit up to 80 kilometers if he has the right fit with Scorch and still do meaningful DPS. About 5 seconds towards the match.
I wonder if Ryload Osprey is going to be able to live through the APOC. It's going to be interesting.
We'll see. The match is on now, and immediately the drones are being launched away. The Circle of Two are launching. It seems like ECM mixed with armor bots.
Yeah, Griffin burning in hard here into the and he's taking actually a lot of damage. He needs to be careful getting in that close. Algos coming in. Griffin's pulling away very, very quickly now in low shield. He needs to get back to his Logi, otherwise they're going to see just a point loss on that Griffin super quickly.
He needs to be real careful because he has no support from his Logi. He is actually only a medium shield extender, so no.
Ooh, that Griffin's getting very low, and Rylo's taking some heavy damage too. Oh wow, Griffin low armor gets saved back again. Oh, Griffin down already. That's going to be a big play.
In the meantime, the Osprey is actually going to hit structure soon. He's already boosted at least 4 times now. We'll see how he holds out.
The APOC and the Hurricane can produce just absolutely stunning DPS from long range. The Hurricane right now by Dodgy is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's burning in right now, trying to apply as much DPS as possible. If they kill the Osprey and trade it only for a Griffin, I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it.
No, definitely not worth it at all. Because like this Griffin is just a throwaway 3 points. Like you put something there to distract the opponent, and it seems to work because right now the Rylot is gonna finish up his he just
Rylot
finished
is
his
gone
drive.
from that huge Hurricane Alpha, and it looks like they're trying to do a Logi trade here with the X-Squirrel going down slowly, but I don't know if it's too little too late. The DPS that Hurricane Apocalypse can bring from range is just absolutely destroying Logi and cruisers.
This is the same situation as we have earlier with the mirror match. This is the afterburning Osprey. He's even lower sig than Executor. He has even lower sig than the Osprey because he's armor tanked, but he actually has some buffer. So it's gonna take time to break through that before the Drake dies, so they can trade something.
Yeah, it looks like they're going after the Algos now. That's now. It looks like they're just leaving the Logi alone, actually, and just trying to kill off some easy targets, some easy pickings. I'm not sure if that's a smart play, just because I am very hesitant to think that you'll be able to break an Armor Cane or an Armor APOC with X-Squirrel reps, considering, you know, you're shooting not exactly the best applying damage, and, you know, the Drake isn't getting any healthier as this match goes on.
I mean, the APOC and the Hurricane are gonna take most of the damage anyways, because they are just the biggest ships. But this is what you should focus on, actually, because this Algos has minimal impact. You're not afraid of being tackled, because your Logi is already dead, and even if they tackle any of your big ships, they're gonna die. They're gonna just take damage as they would otherwise. So I don't know why would they go for the Algos in this situation. They should have been like they're putting damage on the Executor right now as we speak.
Yeah, I think that they wasted time going for that Algos, and it's going to cost them right here. The Drake is low. The Algos, I mean, the X-Squirrel is slowly dying, but they've wasted multiple volleys, and I don't know why. You know, the Drake and the Raven can shoot anywhere on the grid, basically. I just am very confused. Maybe they were trying to take off a little bit of DPS, but it's irrelevant when you look at the alpha of the Hurricane as well as the DPS. Yeah, Drake's going down now. X-Squirrel is in low armor, buffer's low. Luckily, the Vigil is still alive and kicking. That's the only way that this X-Squirrel is going to die, as long as that Vigil keeps a heated target paint around. But, you know, one lucky shot from the Hurricane and the Vigil is going to be vaporized too, so it needs to play carefully.
Hurricane is actually tied down with the Raven, so this Vigil has a perfect opportunity right now to go dive on this Executor, web him, and maybe let the Raven finish it off. Because I don't know if it would be enough to swing this match. I think not. But they could get some points actually for the league by doing so.
Yeah, I mean, the Vigil going in with the web, I agree. I think it's the only thing that they can do, because the damage that the X-Squirrel is taking is just absolutely minuscule, and the Raven is not getting any healthier. Up close, you know, the APOC.
I think this is what he's doing actually right now. Look at him. He's actually on top of this Executor.
And he's pulling away a little bit here. He really is flying really safely here, just doing this like drive-by stuff. He needs to get really concentrated in with it, web, heated points, and, you know, cross your fingers that your Raven's going to be able to break it fast enough.
I don't think it's gonna work that way. You have to keep the web on the Executor. I mean, there used to be that turn factor when if you were orbiting, but I don't believe the Executor is actually orbiting anything. So he has to commit the web fully to.
Yeah, now he's finally web. Now he's fully committed. Now look at how fast it is. The last bit of that armor is dropping very quickly. The web. Look at that. Ugh.
Power
if
of
the
a
web
single
would have happened earlier.
This is a power of a single web in a cruise missile setup.
Yeah.
Meantime, the Raven is dying as well.
Yeah, Ravens and armor. You know, this match pretty handily is going to be, I think, going down to scrub. You know, Kanye did what they could, but yeah, it's well fought. The Osprey did not get the screening it needed. It didn't get enough transversal up. The Hurricane easily ran it down, and that alpha from the Hurricane in between the bits of DPS that the Apocalypse brings allows you to punch through a cruiser.
The Hurricane alpha is not that high. He's sporting 220s, so.
Oh, he's ACs. My mistake. I thought that
it's
he
still
was.
Something. It's still something, Chester, but not that high.
I thought that he was arty. Okay, Vigil down. Wow, that was a good game. Close, actually. I mean, all things considered, but I don't know how much I like these cruise missile setups, especially Drake setups, in the current tournament. Just. Missiles
I think they're very hard. They're very decision dependent. You have to make right calls at the right time, and it can be great then. Like, imagine what would have happened, as you said yourself, if that Vigil went a little bit earlier and maybe sneaked behind on the Executor, webbed him down, and enabled the cruise missiles and heavy missiles from the Drake that don't apply as well. As, let's say, light missiles, to actually do some damage. And then we could have seen maybe entirely different match.
Oh, that's certainly a possibility. I don't disagree that that definitely is the only way for a missile team to win, is getting the web on these AB lodges that are very prevalent here, just because of how much more survivable they are than MWD logi, which ironically enough, if the Osprey would have been the Scythe could have MWD'd away from the Hurricane and would have actually been able to pull enough range fast enough to survive.
This is true.
Which is just kind of funny. But no, I definitely agree. The Vigil pilot, normally ECM pilots and EWAR pilots, definitely from your experience, I think you may agree that they generally fly very quote-unquote scared. They stay very at the edge of their optimal range of their EWAR. They don't want to get in close. And when you're in a Vigil with a very light tank, going in for web can kind of be a scary thought. But,
But you have to think for the team. This is the best what we do for the team, so you just do it. And with that, the match is over.
Theron, match is over.
The Kanye won. Let's take it back to the LAs.
All right, guys, welcome back. That was an incredibly bloody match once again. Seems like everyone just is down to just brawl outrageous and die horribly, and also make great decisions. Let's not say they're bad, but they just like showing us explosions, so we thank them for that. So to start things off, this match seemed to hinge on a few ships. Starfleet Commander, why don't you tell us about the Vigil and the role it played, or the role it should have played?
I'm going to open this up to Chester and Theron to have their input as well, but I was going to say that they were talking about earlier before we quickly came over to here. Like just Vigils, like Chester said, we always act very scared, and I can speak from experience in the Collides format. I'm not being scared, but you need to be not afraid to commit yourself to get that web on, because that could mean, like, wouldn't you agree, Chester, like actually applying full damage, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, in that format right there, we saw just the web being on for a few seconds, like Theron was saying, the entire time questioning where was the Vigil pilot, how quickly the Expert dropped down to cruise fire. And if you can think about this for a moment, with the Hurricane and the Apocalypse just rage burning in and fully committing themselves in for a Logi trade, and with the Griffin already being dead, the Vigil pilot or the FC needed to immediately call for the Vigil to heat NWD, and they can go like 5k a second heated, and get the web immediately on the X-Square if they're going to do a full Logi trade. Because I think in that full Logi trade situation, I actually do like the chances of our missile team, because they actually can kite much better than, a 220 Hurricane, which I had accidentally thought was RD. I didn't check carefully enough.
All they have to do is get rid of the Algos, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they should be fine. They should be alright. But I think that, the Vigil, he needs to. I think that was, and it was interesting they got rid of Griffin early. Do you reckon it's because they're just afraid of those random jams,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a bad call to kill it earlier, but they should have seen this Logi trade coming in when you had the heated Hurricane burning in, as well as the APOC. Right there, for guys that maybe knew or not, we're talking about literally a T1 EWAR frigate that you can fly almost to perfection within like a week of playing, was literally the crux of that entire game, because that Vigil would have done its job perfectly and piloted perfectly. With a heated web, I think this match would have been different.
Well, like you said, he is literally faster than anything on the other team. Like even if he just gets a couple of webs off here and there, like burning around and just like tabbing it on and off, it still will help, because he's faster than everything there. He can outrun everything. So there's not really much excuse really. I think he can overload it.
Even if the Algos would somehow manage to put drones on it, he would have lasted long enough to make this execute die so much quicker than it did in the match.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even light drones have a difficult time tracking and applying damage to something. As long as you're doing like a little bit of orbit piloting or manual piloting with a heated MWD just pulsing, the Vigil is very fast, so it's difficult for drones to even apply good damage to it. So
I mean, it even has rocket launches, so those are Tech 1 drones. They don't have that much HP.
True. I mean, I don't know. It was all on the Vigil right there, and I think if the Drake and the Raven were both loaded with precision to start the match off, I think that also would have been a really, really big help.
So it's funny. We have all these. There are 10 ships playing, and they're one of each class. We have the big boys. We have destroyers. We have everything, and yet it seems to come down to the frigate play. Rain, what do you think about the play of the two frigates in this match, especially the Griffin? We talked about the Vigil a lot, but What do you think about the Vigils like decision making early on, or the Griffins, sorry, decision making early on?
Well, I mean, the Griffin was pretty much deleted off the field. I thought it was actually really funny because I wouldn't expect a Griffin to fly with an armor fleet. But at the same time, I know when I play the game, I don't like Griffins. I don't like fighting them. So I can definitely see why they just wanted to volley him off the field, not have to deal with him later, not have to be frustrated by jams and whatnot. But I still thought it was kind of interesting how they brought the Griffin and all he really did was just kind of die.
Yeah, do you think that was like a calculated move because he seemed to dive in a little bit, or do you think that was just like kind of?
I mean, it could have been. They could have. I mean, we might not ever know, but they could just say it was an elaborate prank and that they just brought the Griffin just because it's perma aggro, where everyone just wants to kill the Griffin, just kill the ECM, and so that way they could say, "Oh, we distracted you, so we could kill your Logi, etc., etc." But we may never know. It could be a tactic.
I'd like to weigh in here actually quickly. I think that they shouldn't have picked the Griffin. I don't know. I just think that it's a bit. I
agree.
It's a bit rubbish. Like I think that either. I'm just looking at the spreadsheet. I'm looking at this Punisher. I'm looking at a dual plate Punisher. I'm thinking, get some nice tackle in there. It's going to be more helpful than a Griffin that is shield and is just going to get deleted off the field against most setups. So maybe or that or what do you think, Chester? What do you think is a better? I'd say a tackle frigate. Oh no, sorry, the Punisher was banned, so that's probably why. But even they could bring a tackle frigate.
Crucifier even. I mean, yes, it's
yeah.
kind of like a hit or miss. I understand, but I mean, if it does hit, the Crucifier is like one of the most crippling ships, even without scripts, to battleships. You know, the APOC is actually playing a really big play. It's going to seeing a lot of play here. So you know, it's definitely something to think about. You can, if you want to be like really cheeky, you could even like fit out a missile TD as well, or something like that. Would be.
Or a Mulus.
I guess stamps unscripted are interesting, but you know, nonetheless.
They're not that great, but I think that just like instead of having it like an off chance, like you could at least like force, I don't know, like make things not, you know, you might actually, what's the locking range? You might be able to knock the knocking range down to what, 30k?
So might interrupt. You can knock down the Raven with that up to like 50 kilometers, even less.
Yeah, so there you
even
go.
Unscripted.
There you go. That could be like, I think that just a Griffin's a bit of a, I don't know, a gamble, especially in an armor setup. That's all I'd have to say, really.
Moluses have been
Oh, sorry.
I'll say Moluses have been popularly banned as well. I've noticed when looking through that a lot of teams have banned them. I don't know if this, like the last match, if they actually banned them, but something to consider.
This match,
well.
they weren't banned in this match, so, but, well, anyway.
Speaking of the next match, it's coming up. We've got the test. We get to see them play again, kind of redeem themselves, going against Scram Scene Investigation. It's with Rain and Starfleet Commander, so we'll pass it to them.
Hey, I'm Rain, and I'll be introducing the Scram team. They've brought a Raven, a Drake, an Osprey, a Tower, and a Vigil. Kind of the same setup we've been seeing throughout today's matches. Starfleet, can you introduce the test team?
Yeah, so Test have brought Hyperion, which you've seen earlier, a Prophecy, an Algos, an Incursus, and a Thorax, which I think is the first time we've seen a Thorax. If I'm Citonio, I'll probably slap her in the face for getting that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the first time we've seen it. So that we're seeing a, and interestingly, they position the Thorax with the oh wait, there's no Logi on the test team.
No, there's not.
So wait a second, I'm just like looking for the Logi, and I'm thinking, wait a second, there's a cruiser. So interestingly, this is why I need to ask them: is why have they warped that Thorax at? If they've got no Logi, they need to get everything at center. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, so that's why if you look, the Scram team has warped very close to the center of the match, whereas the test team warped to the center, Scram warped away, and now the match has started.
Test team, like they can't waste time here. They can't waste time. The Scram team can project damage pretty much everywhere, and they're gonna kill stuff. Like there's no way of getting around that. What they need to do is get rid of like the Algos and Cursus, and then it's like they can just outrun everything. So like, I think Test need to.
They need to push in really fast.
They need to just go in really, push out the Hyperion, push the Incursus in, push the Thorax. There the Thorax is going right. Look at that Thorax. He's going right in.
And Vigil is actually putting a paint on the Incursus, and it's
Yeah,
immediately taking damage.
look at
Holy
that
cow.
damage.
Focusing on the frigates.
But the thing is, like, I think that maybe they should really realize. I mean, it's a good kill, but like, he's not anywhere close to their team right now. He's burning away, which is a good move by him. He needs to be burning away and getting out of range. But they should maybe switch to something like the Thorax or something that's got a buffer. I don't know. Like, I think again, target calling here. The Incursus has done a good job of getting away and getting out of damage range, but they got onto the Osprey.
Yeah, so, well, they should. I mean, the test team has no logic. They should automatically focus the Osprey to kind of make their DPS more effective, and then the other team can't really do much. However, the test team Prophecy is also taking a lot of damage.
I think if they kill the Osprey, that's a good trade for Prophecy, whatever. Like, kill the Osprey, that's a good trade. Like, honestly, they'll kill. Like, they need to focus. What they should be doing right now is what a lot of good teams do is while they've got this Osprey locked down, they need to start to make sure they get the other stuff locked down around the Osprey. So they've got to kill this Osprey, and they've got the Drake. It's taking damage. I don't know why. Why is it taking damage?
If you look at the battleships and the battlecruisers, they're all just kind of like sitting on top of each other, especially this poor Drake. However, the Prophecy is really falling because no one's really doing much about this Raven just sitting off and firing away.
They've got split damage. This is so bad. This is exactly what you should not do. Is split damage. They got the Osprey taking damage and the Drake. All that Drake DPS. I'm seeing the Hyperion is actually. I'm pretty sure he's shooting a Drake, and so is the Osprey, and the Prophecy goes down.
Yep, there he goes, and you can see the Osprey's still doing well. He's still repping. I think he's throwing reps towards that Drake to try and keep him up, but the Osprey's also now in structure.
Finally,
oh boy, there he goes.
People are going to talk about that type calling. But look at that Thorax going straight down. He's going to go and die straight away. But the Drake is still. He's going to hold. I think maybe. I think he'll probably die.
Oh no, he's 75, almost 75%.
Thorax
is now down.
I think this Hyperion is in a little bit of a locked situation with the Drake. But I think that the Raven Vigil Tower can just deal with the smaller tackle, and then it'll be a good game. I think, and I think that they can stay away. But look at that.
It's really interesting how they kind of split up with the bigger ships.
What the Vigil's down? He was tackled by the Incursus, but again the Drake's going down.
Oh my gosh, that was so dramatic. It lasts like 2 seconds.
Wow,
so now we just have a Raven and Tower against a Hyperion and
again. This is Vigil piloting. This is Vigil piloting. He got tackled, but he's faster than most things here. I think the Incursus. I think he's way faster than the Incursus. Look, the Tower's going to get tackled by the Incursus.
Yeah. Incursus just like balls to the wall, just running after everything.
And they've got
pretty quickly turned around and ran
away. They've got the right call now, and they need to kill this Incursus. He is a problem for their team. He's like the reason they're losing the small stuff. He will die. There's no way he can keep himself up against this onslaught.
Yeah.
But there he goes.
I mean, Hyperion needs to take out the tower, and then they'll be matched in points, and then it's just kind of a battleship brawl.
I think that this game will go to probably time. I don't think that they can kill this Hyperion. No way they can kill this Hyperion on their own. And the Hyperion is not going to be able to catch up anything. Maybe the Raven. Maybe the Raven's not really moving too quickly. He's moving at 800 and 700, 600 MS. Hyperion's going fast, so he's catching up right now.
Yeah, and this tower should not be anywhere close near the Hyperion, so there should be no risk to him dying.
But Raven's stopped. He's like going 200 MS. And the Hyperion's getting really close.
It's tactical.
I think that I don't think. Well, I have to check how much we've still got a while in the match, like 4 minutes or something. So if the Hyperion does get on top of the Raven, I think that he might be able to kill him in time.
Even with the tower support, you think so?
I definitely doubt the Hyperion will die. He's like, well, actually saying that, he's still taking a lot of damage.
He's in armor already, and okay, so now the Raven's actually taking damage as they're burning. And I think the Raven's actually just kiting out this poor Hyperion.
Hyperion's burnt past him. What's he doing? Where's the Hyperion going? Just okay. He's just gone off. He's just decided, you know what, guys? I'm not gonna go for you. I'm gonna burn. Has he realised his mistake? He's turning around. No, yeah, he's turning around. Make sure you get that on the camera. He's realised. He's going around. He's not going for the tower. The tower and the Raven are right next to each other. So he's now turning around and just be. What was he doing? He just went up in the wrong direction.
This is why I don't fly big ships. Like, look how slow it took for him to turn around. Like, holy cow.
He could have got him actually if he just hit approach. He just sort of just went off on his own. Like just went straight past him. But now he needs to He's going 800 MS, but the Ravens going a K. So like I think there's about 30, 40K in between them right now. I don't think that. Saying that, he's now the Hyperion's going a K a second, the Ravens stop moving. So honestly, he needs to get on top of the Raven, this Hyperion, and he might have a chance.
And there are still drones on the field. You can see those ogres slowly moving towards that poor Raven.
He's now, what is he doing? Now he's realised that the Raven's close. He's going to go up. There we go. He's turning up. We've got 4 minutes left in time. If he gets the Raven webbed, the Raven's realised, oh crap, he's close to me. Look at that. He's realised, bollocks, he's close. I'm pretty sure he's going to get webbed.
This is so funny.
The Raven's going okay. No, he's going to get out of range. Oh my god. Hyperion is going 400 MS. Oh my god. No, he didn't get cat. He didn't get caught. He's gone. He's gone out. He's gone. He's going a KSX. The Hyperion slowed down, and now he's speeding up. He thought he had him, but he's just gone off. Oh, this is the best kiting I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh.
It's brilliant. He got duped. He stopped, and then... Oh my god, this is actually... I can't believe that the Hyperion hasn't got him. Because the Raven isn't playing too great. He sort of stopped and then realised quite late that he was right next to him. Oh god.
It's just really funny watching them like fly about and kind of shoot at each other because they're not really doing that much damage. They're trying to catch each other. It's like watching like old people trying to wheelchair race or something like that. Like this is why you really need good like support with frigates and destroyers because obviously these battleships can't do it on their own unless they're sitting on top of each other.
Yeah, but I think we got
probably 3 minutes to go. I think is what's left.
I think Elise is meant to be keeping track of that, but I think this is going to be one of those matches that's going to go to time. So I think we'll wait for Elise to send local this time, and then we'll keep going until Mr. Elise has said the time. But it's going to be,
this tower's just kind of sitting here too.
2 minutes to go, so we've still got time. But I think it's going to be like a slow burn. even though the Raven's in half shields, but he's as Thorin is pointing out that he is shooting null and is actually damaging the Raven, even if he's in complete fall off.
Apparently, the Hyperion also burned out his MWD, is what we're hearing. It's probably why he's barely moving.
Well, maybe like if that's the case, then he has no hope. Then.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He hasn't. He's going up to speed now.
Chester's
saying cap issues maybe.
Oh.
Which is probably a big problem. But now look at that. Now he's got a burst of speed, and the Raven stop. He's going 900 MS.
He's like little ECM Hornets out too. Oh my gosh.
Oh, he needs look. If you look at if Satona can get a good angle of this, you can see like the Hyperion has approached the Raven, and now he's he needs to like guess where he's gonna go and then like intercept him. But now he's gonna like sort of, follow like if he goes in an angle, he's gonna miss him. If you know what I mean, he's gonna start. Yeah. And now the Raven's turned around. 1 minute left. And now the Raven's turned around.
Using smart bombs to get rid of those ECM drones.
EC drones, yeah. He's got 2 ogres going over to him. Might kill him, maybe. Nah, the Hyperion isn't gonna die. I don't think. No way he's gonna die.
However, the match will go to Team Scram because they do have more points destroyed.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's again one of those matches where it's literally just come down to one destroyer or frigate that's gonna make who's gonna win the points on points wise. So we've got 30 seconds left. Oh, it's a good match at the start, and it's all got slowed down because we've got 2 battleships chasing each other. They might kill him actually. They might kill Hyperion. 15 seconds. Nah, they won't kill him in time. Anyway.
They're getting closer to each other now, I think.
The Ravens, 8 seconds, 7. With that, anyway.
Okay, we'll send it back to the guys at the booth.
All right, that was definitely a match. Man, I'm so glad Tester in this tournament. They always do the best things ever. That was really, really fun to watch. We saw like the first no Logi team to fight. We saw some battleships kiting battleships. I don't even know what to think anymore. Can you guys make sense of this? Rain, what's up with kiting battleships? Is this supposed to happen? Like, what's
I don't
the deal?
think so. I don't think so. I think that's why everyone brings, you know, the small frigates and destroyers and whatnot to keep people kind of tied down. But obviously, the test team, everyone died except the poor battleship who was just flying across the arena, just trying to catch the Raven. I did think they did pretty well though for not having Logi. I mean, it wasn't a complete wipe on their end, so I think that kind of shows that you don't actually need Logi to do well in these tournaments.
Yeah, Theron, why don't you tell us, like, elaborate more on taking a Logi versus not taking a Logi. You mentioned that sometimes you don't like a Logi in the bigger formats. How do you think it played out here?
I mean, I thought Test had in the bag, actually, when they managed to burn in everything except for the incurses without any losses. But then, I don't know what happened. They had some blackout or something, and it felt like they threw the match, almost. Because the split damage, like, imagine, at one point, the Drake was at half shields. Take that half of a shield bar, and then multiply it by 2, and put it on the Osprey, sorry. It would have been dead. Would have been dead in no time if they wouldn't split damage, and from there, again, like they could have gone for DPS and they could have completely won that match, but for some reason they didn't. And after that, we had this dancing display of the Raven and Hyperion just chasing each other. In a few points, there was a moment where the Hyperion was actually able to catch the Raven, but he didn't. So it's not like you need the Logi, because you just trade it for more DPS in this format. And if you manage to get quickly with that DPS to where you want it, then it's worth it, totally worth it.
All right, now, Madden, you were talking earlier about how important Logi drones are and the differentiation between Logi drones and ECM drones in this match. But tell me about just talk about the Raven for me, the Raven versus the Hype, or anything about the core battleship pilots in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. You talked about the drone point. I think here you actually saw the value of DPS drones in this format, where normally I've just all been about the ECM, the Logi drones, because you can have Tech 2 and ECM drones scale, and I think that's been a big factor. But here, DPS drones actually did make a difference. But now I'll switch to what I really want to talk about, which is the Raven versus Hyperion choice. I mean, good for Test to bring the team with the Thorax, to bring that DPS team without any Logi, to just really go for it. But at the end, you see that Hyperion versus Raven, and you see there's a little bit of speed difference. There's that cap battle that was going on in there. But what I really loved was you're just watching that bird fly away. I just sat like the last 5 minutes of that match thinking free bird, as you see the Hyperion getting like 5 kilometers away, and you think your webs apply, and then the Raven just overheats and gets out of there, and you're just thinking, bird, you fly.
At one point, the Hyperion could have got the Raven, and we're all saying in the chat that he just flew at a completely random angle. It looked like it was going towards him, and he just sort of went off to the left and just sort
the
of
level of incompetence was just like earth-shattering. Every time I watched that, it was just painful to watch on the Raven and the Hyperion side. The Hyperion should have caught the Raven like a dozen times, half dozen times at least, and the Raven was just, oh god.
Yeah, but how much less fun would this match have been if the Hyperion had just gone and just tackled the Raven and then just caught him and then just killed him?
And then they would have won. It would have been the first non-Logi team to win.
Exactly.
It would have been good. The other thing that was interesting is Scram didn't prioritize killing a Thorax. They went after a Prophecy right away, which I would have just like deleted the Thorax immediately, because that can be like 500 to 600 DPS that you can just instantly kill. And they left that up.
Thorax actually does more DPS than a Prophecy in this format.
Exactly. So it was like terrible target calling in the beginning. I just...
I mean, if you've never seen a battle chicken before and you've never been inside of a Prophecy and you have no idea that it's the tankiest battlecruiser that exists on the planet, maybe you're unaware that you think, hey, this is a great DPS boat, and the Thorax, which is a DPS boat, maybe you think that's actually the tankiest battlecruiser in the game, thinking, that's a battlecruiser when it's a cruiser. Maybe there was just some really crossed wires there in the target calling.
I mean, that's the only thing I can figure, but overall, that match was just...
You know what? Chester, because you obviously were spamming the ship scanner to see the cap on that Hyperion, which was pretty hurting. Do you think that it would be viable for the Hyperion to actually burn back instead of chasing the chicken and just try to position himself right and do MJD on top of it.
So what is interesting for me is the Hyperion does have an MJD, so I don't know why it doesn't start at range. Like, it can just burn away and then just jump onto a target that it wants to, saving itself a ton of cap from the burn-in and everything else. And the other thing is I don't... The second point is even if the Hyperion was, chasing the Raven, it has a better innate cap because of its Galente backbone than the Raven does. So it can just not rep. It doesn't need to rep, take damage, run the MWD, fight the cap war, knowing that its inherent cap is way better than the Raven's. Once it catches the Raven, turn off its MWD, easily slaughter it, because Hyperion adds 0 versus any battleship. I put my money on the Hyperion, and then just sit there while the Talwar like plinks away at it and it doesn't really care. Like, that's how you should have played that fight, you know, instead of, and of course being able to like actually pilot your ship in some, you know, marginal area where the fucking Raven is, instead of going off to right field and like checking out Baskin Robbins. But, you know, it is what it is.
All right. So before I die from giggle fits from from Chester describing the test team's clowny action, we've got the next two teams on the field. It is Johnny and Sons fencing specialists versus Pretty Freaking Reluctant, and this match actually should be pretty funny. We get to see some of the same ships, but a lot of different ones. We're gonna send it over to Starfleet and Theron. So take it away, boys.
Welcome back, guys, to this match of Johnny versus Pretty. I'm Starfleet Commander here with my co-corp mate, Ferrant Featherax, and I'm going to introduce the Johnny team. And they've got a max kiting setup with no logic. They've got a Caracal, Raven, Drake, Tower, and Crucify. Why don't you tell us what the other team have brought, Ferrant?
Well, the other team brought kind of similar setup to what we've seen before: a Hyperion, Oracle, Ogura, Olgos, and a Tristan.
Now,
so,
interestingly, the in this match, the Ogura isn't banned, and it's a good logi. Very strong AB. So I think it's gonna.
I think it supports both more tank and more rep power as opposed to Executor. So that's a really good one. That's a really good pickup for the bans.
It's gonna be interesting to see. Do you reckon they're gonna push? They're gonna go for that straight away. What do you think?
I don't know. I would probably test against the Oracle because we have seen you can burn down how quickly those die under tick 1 reps. But we'll see about that. 5 seconds toward the match.
I'm going to go for the Tristan. I think they're going for the Tristan and the Argos.
Cool, well, and let's go.
The match has just started. We're going to see where the damage is going to start to go on. I'm betting on a smaller ship. Maybe the Argos, I'm thinking. But I could be wrong.
Watch that Tristan, because he's just like separated himself from the main group and he's burning around while the Tuskers are burning.
As you said, Oracle.
Yeah, as I said, indeed. Like he's already taking he's only 75% armor. So I don't think that's actually fast enough to break him.
Whoa.
Well, I'm proving wrong again.
Eat your words, mate. I mean, it's going to half armor, but at the same time, where's the damage on the other team? Where's the damage on the Johnny side? There's nothing, is there?
I mean, there are some ECM drones on the Tristan, so they are pretty freaking reluctant, but I don't know, to be honest, because they should be applying damage at least to something with the Oracle.
Something, yeah. They have like a logi. They got a, like this is when they need to be making time, making worth of this Oracle dying. They need to like trade something. You know what I mean? They need to gain something from this loss. And
there
is
is one set of EC Vespers on this Oracle. Do you think that could be the cause?
Well, yeah, maybe they put all their drones on him, and he's maybe that's it. Yeah, he's down now. That's the Oracle down. That's literally a lot of the damage. Actually, all the damage projection from the Pretty side gone. And you say
they pretty much have to pin something down with a Tristan and Argos and let Hyperion add it.
Yeah, I think that's the only. I mean, Tristan isn't doing much. Tristan has got Scram, so he can just go in and get something. Same with the Argos. The Argos has got Scram work, so they need to just decide to go for something. And
yeah, at the same time, the Ogre is actually feeling the hurt because they are switching to him, and the Caracal here actually adds quite a bit of DPS. It's not that high sustained, but quite a lot of burst. That's like 400 DPS almost,
Again,
maybe as the rain fit.
we're seeing split damage again. The second match in a row. I don't understand why teams do this. They need to just focus. This is especially for a setup where you're relying on so much on reload cycles. You know what I mean? They need to just make use of like their missiles and actually like focus a target. But maybe they're maybe going to down
Yeah,
the
but
Algos.
notice that it's only the Caracal that's shooting the Algos. So maybe they are trying to put some cap pressure on the Ogre. Maybe they are trying to put the multitasking pressure, because you being a Logi pilot can probably tell us how much of a pressure it is to fly.
It's true. It is very
Good
true that
weather.
like running like all your modules plus your repping something it makes it so hard for yourself to tank. But now we're starting to see a tiny bit of damage coming onto the Crucifier. I mean, maybe a good target call, seeing as it's going to hurt the Hyperion, but I'm not liking the chances of the Pretty team here, aren't you?
Yeah, the Caracal is actually tackled now by Tristan. Hyperion's pretty close, so we might have to see a first
The
casualty.
Hyperion, you're right. He is now.
Tusker
He is
side.
going towards him now. He's started to turn around and go towards him. He's shooting the Caracal. I mean, probably a better target to go for.
They are switching all the drones to the Tristan now in desperate attempt to free his brother, but I don't think it's gonna be enough.
The Algos is coming in. He's gonna go. Tristan's down.
Tristan is dead. The Caracal is free. So again, I stand corrected. He's in the perfect space.
The Algos is trying to go after him. You can see the Crucifiers now coming in, really close. Look at that. He might be a bit problematic, but now this is so hard for the Pretty team. They just lost one of their tackle frigates, and now they're going for the Algos. I think that it's
I
just
don't know why
not.
the Crucifier is so close to the Hyperion. The Hyperion has a medium newt, could potentially cripple it down. I don't know if it would matter much at this point. Yeah, the Algos is down.
The Algos down. I think that again, we've now seen a no-logi team. I think it's going to be a team wipe. Wouldn't you agree? I think they're going to kill everything. I don't think if the Crucifier just isn't there, he doesn't need to be there. He literally does not need to be near close to the Hyperion. He's so close. Why is he? Honestly, he needs to just fly away.
There is a point. There would be a point to it a few patches ago where the tracking disruptors had optimal range, just like guns, and the difference was that if it's not in the optimal range, there is a chance for the module to miss instead of applying less bonus, or should I say penalty in this case. But that's out through the window. It's working like the guns now, so there's literally no reason for any EWO frigate to come closer unless it's like completely necessary.
Yeah.
It's not in this case because they are in a perfect spot.
They're going for the Hyperion. I think they're going for the Hyperion because they want to get some points instead of because they could definitely kill the Augur in the time. I don't know how much time's left. I mean, we got a while left. I think we've got like 4 or 5 minutes left actually. But like they want to kill the Hyperion. They want to get their points down. I mean, what do you reckon they should just get some easy points for the Augur, or?
I think I would go for the Augur, to be honest, because the Hyperion is completely crippled now. Everything on the field is faster than the Hyperion, maybe with the exception of Drake and Raven, because
the Augur isn't repping the Hyperion. I'm looking at him, and now rep drones are going. I'm literally, and they're smart bombing their own drones. You get a nice view of that Hyperion. Look at that, guys! It's
I
on
see the
fire.
rep effect going from the Augur.
Now he's repping him a bit late, but I'm not sure he repped him a bit late. The Hyperion can definitely, if he repped him from the start, I think he can definitely tank. I think with an Augur. I mean, with that, I think he's just repped too late and he's going to die, I think. Hyperion.
Maybe the Hyperion was actually being read by the Augur, but instead let his AAR to reload.
Maybe.
Do you think that would be the case?
I don't know. I think he just wasn't repping him too long.
He's down now.
Down. Yeah, the Augur does have small reps, which is probably why there's not much. The rep power isn't that great, maybe.
And the paste was long gone. Because this Hyperion, for people that didn't check the fits, that are, by the way, posted on the site, he has 1,600 plate and the ancillary rep. So it's more towards the buffer side of the spectrum, like after he runs out of the nanite paste, and he's not going to tank that well with just a single rep with no paste.
And with that, we're going to see the Augur go down. We're going to see a complete team wipe from the Team Johnny side, which is the first time we've seen a no-logi setup win, I believe, in this tournament series. So with this, we'll send it back to the analysis desk, and we can get a nice little insight on the decisions made in this match.
All right, so we finally saw a clean sweep, and we also saw the first no logic team win. I mean, tests are the trendsetters, right? They bring the first no logic team, they make it look serviceable, and now the Johnny team brings one and completely crushes a really, really good team. So let's see. I guess Chester, tell me about like some of what went on in this match, like what role the Caracol played and things like this.
Yeah, so I actually liked the no logic setup here. The Caracal with its RLMLs completely neutralizes any small ship from getting close to any of their big damage dealers, which is actually really key because most missile setups have a difficult time applying to smaller ships. And with the Augurer, even with its better optimal range, really isn't able to keep anything up with the Caracal on grid. So I think that the Caracal is actually a really a solid cruiser to pick for their team comp. And basically just what went on here is it shows the power of missiles, and when you're shooting a target that has very low EHP and a very high signature, which attack battlecruisers do have innately, like extremely high sig and low EHP, all of the issues that missiles normally face, applying damage without a web or TP and all that is really kind of relegated to not a huge deal, just because the Oracle is essentially its own worst enemy. After the Oracle was gone, again, we saw the play-by-play, what we've seen numerous times come out here on the grid, and, Starfleet Commander and Theron pointed it out, the Hyperion was just kited out, was able to not bring any of its guns to bear, and that was the end of the match.
All right, great explanation there, Chester, appreciate it. Madden, you wanted to talk about the Augur versus the Executor. This is one of the first times we've seen the Augur not banned. In fact, this is only the second match that the Augur wasn't banned all day, and I think this is probably the first time we've seen it. What's the difference between the Augur and the Executor?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Augur and the Executor, there's a few key things. The Augur has the small remote armor reps for Tech 2 variation versus the Executor, which has the mediums and obviously the meta version. So it has kind of more reps and a little bit less rep power in each. And then it obviously beyond that, it's more marginal. A medium cap booster versus small cap boosters and an extra MWD instead of the afterburner. So it can do some things that the Executor can't, and I think it does it maybe with a bit more tank. It has a 1600 millimeter plate versus the 800, so that's a pretty big difference. So it's a powerful repping ship, and I think it's a good call when you can bring it. But the thing that got me there is so much of the time it basically wasn't repping. I mean, you saw near the end of that match, especially, the Hyperion wasn't getting repped, and I don't know if he was maybe there's some weird jams I didn't notice, something like that, but he spent a lot of that match kind of sort of surviving, but maybe not being able to kind of that multitasking thing that a great logic pilot really has to be able to do, and that takes experience, things like that. Just repping the guys, making sure you're switching reps onto the right guy. A frigate goes down. If you've got 5 small remote armor reps, you should be able to kind of at least give the frigate a chance. Pre-repping him and knowing when you've got a RML ML Caracal on the field. So that's the kind of thing where that experienced logic pilot can really make a difference in ship like that.
Good stuff. Starfleet Commander, we saw that the Vigil was banned in this matchup. Do you think the bans played a role in having like a little bit of mind games coming up? Like, oh, they won't take a missile team if we ban the Vigil. Is that sort of what happened, or was it just...
Yeah, it's quite interesting because the Maulus is banned and the Vigil's banned. So they're like two... Well, the Vigil is very like important. You've seen it earlier on. Every like missile setup is either Vigil, like in there somewhere, just to apply some TP to help apply damage. But maybe that did have a player in it, and that did actually maybe they thought they won't bring it, the Vigil's out, so they went. But I mean, we just seen that the Caracal. I think the Caracal is probably. I think that's a good choice. I think that was a good one of the main reasons why they probably won. Well, apart from the fact that they killed the Oracle, I think once they killed the Oracle, I think they probably won it from that moment onwards, because they just lost all their application at range. It's all just gone out the window once the Oracle died.
So between this match and the one before, we saw a really stark contrast between the target calling and the target selection and stuff like this. Theron, what did you think about the target calling for this match, and the target switching within the match?
I think the calls were correct, because the first one, if I'm correct, was the Tristan to go down. So, this guy was trying to burn ahead of the missile team and maybe get somebody tackled, maybe slow somebody down, and they just got rid of him because this Caracal enabled that. So and after that, that was pretty easy to go for the Oracle, because even after under reps, as Chester pointed out, it has pretty low tank. And after that, it was pretty clean sweep because the Hyperion got isolated and just the support died. I would personally go for the Augurer before Hyperion, but it worked, so I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like at that point, as you guys pointed out during the match, that there was kind of nothing that Hype could do. He was pinned down.
Well,
couldn't really
again,
go anywhere.
he could have burned back and tried to jump on somebody because there were like I don't know if they were uncut, probably not, but they were going all into the same direction. So it was pretty easy to like project the point where they would end up and jump. Even if he would miss for like 30 kilometers, there is still a way for him to burn overheat the MWD, turn around, burn over to them, and that actually forces them to switch directions. So maybe some guys will like you might count on the misplay there. Maybe somebody is gonna just burn through, like nobody is gonna notice, or he's not gonna notice the Hyperion jumping. Maybe you can snag somebody, and you have Oracle that in theory could have been doing DPS from the other side of the map where the rest of the team was located. So it's kind of like pseudo pincer movement, but it was an option, something you can do.
No one's done that yet, actually. No one's actually jumped on something like at the start of the match.
That's super sad because it would be sick to see something like that.
It is, and honestly, I can speak from experience because we lost to a team in the Alliance tournament, which they did that to us, and it really does throw you off guard. You remember that match there on?
Of course.
It does when you don't expect something to happen, and battleships appear next to you. It really does. It just, your plan, what you wanted to do, just has to fly out the window because now you've got like a battleship right next to you, and you need to like decide whether to go for him or not. You know what I mean? So like, it'd be interesting if someone actually does that tactic, because I think if they do it correctly, I think you could just win the game straight away.
You should always look at the options you have and try to exploit the best one in the situation. Here you lose your only fast tackle, except for the August, which isn't really that fast and tanky. You might want to try something like that. At least consider this. Talk to your team, like, hey, maybe we should do that. Go for it.
That is it's pretty good points you guys brought out about forcing mistakes and going for what's in front of you. Chester, you've got a lot of experience in the tournament and kind of watching tournament games. Is that what it's all about in these matches? Is it just about quick thinking, or is it about, like, is that what the practice does for you?
Practice generally lets you get comfortable making calls, working together as a group, overcoming, like piloting mistakes or shortcomings or whatever else. But, harkening back to MJD plays, you always go into a situation with a really great and well versed out plan where you easily crush the enemy and everything goes perfectly. That rarely happens. And the MJD plays, for example, when you suddenly have like an Armageddon or a Tempest, like just like blinking in front of you, and now you're sitting 5k off them. You don't have time to say, oh, well, it looks like they're doing this, or this is fitting like that. We should do X, Y, Z. It's, oh my fucking God, there's a Tempest right here. And then it's literally fly by the seat of your pants. And I guess a lot of experience and good gameplay comes through being able to still pull out a victory in that situation where everything goes tits up, but definitely takes practice.
All right, well, that was an incredible match. I mean, I love the matches, even like I kind of like the sweeps even more so than the really close matches, because you get to just appreciate the matchup and what happened. I'll just open this up before we swap to the next round, as they're almost ready. Do you think this was a matter of the team just getting hard countered, or was just Johnny just way better at executing?
I'd say it's a hard counter.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's just the kiting team. Like, they got it smack on what they brought.
I would say there was a counter because the Oracle can still project, but he didn't shoot once during this match. So I don't know what happened there, but something did happen.
ECM
or the Crucifier. The Crucifier maybe could have been doing so much that the Oracle wasn't hitting targets.
But he never shot, Chester. He never shot.
Oh yeah, I mean, not shooting for sure. I mean, the Oracle still might be able to like graze the Caracal or definitely shoot the battleships, but yeah.
All right, you heard it here first, guys. Shooting is very important in a match where you have to kill your opponent. And with that, we're ready to go into the final match of the day, the Footwork team versus the Scrub team. We've got Chester and Rain commentating. Gonna throw it to you guys.
Hey guys, welcome to the arena. It's Chesser, joined by Rain, and we're going to be commentating this last match here, Footwork versus Scrub Alliance. I'll introduce Footwork here. They have the APOC, X-Square, Harbinger, Alagos Maulus, and Rain, can you introduce the Scrub team for us?
Yeah, so Scrubwork came with a Hyperion, a Harbinger, an Obscure, an Algos, and a Punisher. I believe this is the first we've seen a Punisher and a Maulus in these matches.
So I want to take it back here. The Hyperion has warped at range, which makes me grin a little bit because we might actually get to see some really nice MJD plays and hopefully a Hyperion team that's actually going to be successful getting the Hyperion on top of key and priority targets. Do you think that this at-range Hyperion is going to be helpful? Because I think it looks like to me that the Footwork team wants to kite. What do you think, Rain?
I agree. I think we've seen all the other Hyperions kind of warp in at 0 and then burn in. So I'm hoping that he just kind of takes them by surprise and jumps in, which I always think is always really fun to see in these tournaments, especially when if you screw up, you're kind of screwed. And the match has started.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see these warp-ins, who they kind of came on at 2 different angles, so they're about 50 kilometers-ish away from each other. Going to see how that really plays out here, what the Hyperion's going to do, if it burns away. Oh, Hyperion jumped in right away. Boondot sinks right close. Harbinger is actually burning back into the Hyperion. If they don't react soon, the Hyperion's going to be just where he wants to be. That was a wonderful play. EC drones are all over him, but the smart bomb's going on. They're actually burning into the Hyperion. This is perfect play.
Yeah, so as you call the Apocalypse and Harbinger, they want to
he's on the
Footwork
X-Square.
team.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was to say the Footwork team definitely wanted to kite, and the Hyperion jumping right behind them kind of screwed them up in that. So now they're kind of trapped between the battleship and the rest of his fleet.
The X-Square is taking damage pretty quickly here. If they can get it down this quickly, it's going to be wonderful. Hyperion's absolutely just covered in drones, but it has the smart bomb. They've got secondary tackle now with the Punisher on this X-Square. This is just a wonderful play by Boondot, coming in just like that. Scram web within 10 seconds of the match. I think that this is going to look really, really strong for this Hyperion team. Allowed it to come down this quickly, and right now this is looking really, really good with their Logi already down. I'm worried about Footwork.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're taking down the Algos though, so they're at least getting rid of some of that tackle that will start to pin their larger ships.
Yeah, the Algos actually was pinning the Hyperion. It's going down shortly here. Looks like we just lost the Tristan, but Algos will go down here, and I think it's going to be a worthwhile trade. Right now, provided that the X-Square is going to stay alive for Scrub, I'm really, really liking their chances here. The Apocalypse is completely caught out by Punisher of Scrub. They're playing this absolutely perfectly. This rush team worked out wonderfully for them.
Yeah, this Scrub Execura hasn't even taken shield damage. It looks like they're all just focusing on destroying the DPS of each team. It's not
the APOC's completely out of the fight right now. The Punisher's close. APOC has no way to stop it. The X-Square is going to stay alive for Scrub. I'm really, really liking their chances here. The Apocalypse is completely caught out by Punisher of Scrub. They're playing this absolutely perfectly. This rush team worked out wonderfully for them.
Yeah, this Scrub Execura hasn't even taken shield damage. It looks like they're all just focusing on destroying the DPS of each team. It's not
the APOC's completely out of the fight right now. The Punisher's close. APOC has no way to stop it. And APOC DPS with Scorch is only at about 600. I mean, it tracks very well, but it's only around 600 DPS. So anything that's on the grid right now can easily tank it. We were talking all day about kiting, and it looked very strong, these Apocalypse types of archetypes that we're seeing here. But I have to say, it brings a grin to my face when I see a Hyperion just run in there with balls of steel and just absolutely like curb stomp an entire team with an MJD play. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I'm actually I think this is pretty great because it almost seemed like Footwork didn't really know what was going on. Like it kind of took them by surprise, which we talked about earlier, how to handle the stress of these big PvP tournaments. And now the Harbinger's going down, so they lose another. This Maulus isn't really, I don't know, it doesn't look like he's really doing anything, but kind of flying everywhere.
Dams don't do much when your team's at 5 kilometers to the other team. So that's kind of how it is, really good.
This Punisher's pinning down the Apocalypse. I thought the Maulus would go and save him, but no, the Maulus is just flying off somewhere. I don't know what he's doing.
APOC's trying to do what he can, trying to kill the Harbinger. He knows that he's never going to hit the Punisher, but like I said, only 600 DPS. Hyperion now is just absolutely burning over to the APOC. He's going to catch it soon, and it's going to be a very, very nice fight, almost a clean sweep. But just going to show that utilizing an MJD appropriately, especially considering the fact that the way that Boondocks
MJD actually behind Footwork had their Hyperion, their APOC, and their Expert who are already burning backwards. You know, those ships are armor plated. They take a long time to turn. He actually went right into them, so it was good.
So for some people, may not know what an MJD is, but it's a I believe it's micro jump drive, and it's used on larger ships as well as there's a special one that's used on command destroyers that we do not see in these tournaments, which is probably a good thing. But what it does is, in essence, kind of blink or boosh your ship 100 kilometers, whichever way you're facing, and only a Scram can turn it off. So it's a really good way for these larger ships who can't really move very fast, even with an MWD. It's a good way for them to get on top of their enemies or maybe out of a fight.
Yeah, talk about getting on top of your enemies. Maul's going down now too, and this APOC is just getting a full face of antimatter right now from the Hyperion, and it was a really, really good match here from Scrub. I was worried about them originally. Yeah, Boondock talking to me in local. They did not throw the match this time. Good play. Excellent use of smart bombs, MJDs from the Hyperion, really setting it up. Good shit. I'm glad we got to end on like a really, really good match.
I'm really impressed by this. It was really good. It was really intense. This poor Apocalypse is going down now.
Yeah, APOC does not like it when its scorch lasers are not hitting enemies from afar. And APOC is down. Really quick match, decisive and exciting. We'll send it back to the guys in the booth.
Woo! The MJD boys did it. We asked for it all day, and then finally we just see a perfectly executed MJD play from the Scrub Squad. I gotta say, like, having burned out of the arena before, that's like one of the hardest things to do is to say, you know what, I'm gonna put my fate in the hands of this module. Hope I don't bounce. Hope I got everything right, and then just watch myself blink 100 kilometers behind enemy lines. I'm super excited about it. Why don't you? Man, I'm just so excited. And why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the plays we saw, like some of the great things we saw here?
Yeah, honestly, it was just a great match. I don't even know what to touch on, but I really enjoyed watching that initial kind of that fun wave, and then seeing the APOC go down at the end. It was just a great one.
Yeah, all right. So we actually saw a lot about what we talked about all through the day happen today. Chester mentioned like seasoned teams, when they're winning and when they're ahead, they keep the pressure up by like going and tackling people that are out of position. Chester, tell me about the Punisher and like what his role was in this match.
That actually, so Scrubs actually I wasn't calling it out as well as I should have, but here in post-match, the Hyperion originally got on and got the initial tackle on the X-Square for a second. And it was running its smart bomb as well as it could, but it was blanketed by drones. And the X-Square actually was A-B'ing away from it and actually slipped out of its tackle. However, it was burning towards the entire Scrub team, which was now burning towards the Hyperion. So at first, Footwork team's burning away from Scrub. MJD, Hyperion lands behind them, so they need to slowly turn around. That Scram, that insane moment of a Hyperion being 10k off their Logi, Scram web on, causes them completely to panic and stay in a ball. The small frigates of Scrub were able to get on the X-Square, completely lock it down, even though it got out of Scram web range of the Hyperion, keep it held there. Hyperion gets unjammed, it's immediately obliterated. And the second that thing dropped, Punisher ran right over to the Apocalypse, scrammed it. And that's exactly what you need to do. And Harbinger 2, I mean, those two, and then they lost their other frigate, but either way, the Punisher that was left did exactly what it needed to do. I mean, literally the frigates made sure they did the follow through in the play. The rest of the team knew exactly what was going on. Like it was just beautiful to watch.
All right, Theronth, let's talk about some of these bans that we saw here going in. Do you think they had any play into the match itself, or?
Well, the bans for this match were Scorpion and Brutix Osprey, Tempest, Oracle, and Ogre. So, like, the AB tanky logi for the shield team was banned. So that closed some options, like the missile team would have been probably at a disadvantage, because if you allow a missile team, there can be a missile team on the other side, as we saw in the previous match. You can substitute with a Caracal, so like there was some maybe some mind game to that. But other than that, I don't think the bans were really that meaningful, because we have seen Oracle really underperform today, not shooting stuff, dying too quickly. So I feel like those bans weren't that meaningful.
All right, so Starfleet, what is your take on what happened in this match?
I think like this Hyperion, just the plays, just won the match for them. Just a panic, absolute panic. They must have jumped in and thought, the other team must have thought, WTF, mates. Like, because he did it instantly as well. As soon as the match started, he went for it. There was no second guessing. You know, he did it, turned and jumped. And like Chester said, it was the Punisher following up that tackle, because the Hyperion didn't have the Executor locked. He landed and had, like, I think the Executor, what was it, Chester, like 3 or 4 seconds, I think, got away a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he got the initial Scram web for a hot second, but it's an AB cruiser, so it can coast off the Hyperion that immediately gets blanketed with EWAR and Scram webbed itself. So without the follow-up from the rest of Scrub, the play wouldn't have worked. So the entire team was on the same page, knew exactly what was going to happen. It was beautiful.
And we see like how really paper thin these logis are, and then how quickly that Tech 1 logi died. You know what I mean? Like in the other matches, like these logis survived so long, but like this, you know, he's webbed and scrammed and he's taken full damage, and he did not. I think he survived 15 seconds, and then
this was the fastest match of the entire series for sure.
Definitely, and it was just a good plays.
Well, that's the panic effect for you, because they are like merrily sticking to their plan. Hey guys, they are brawlers. We're just gonna kite maybe a little bit, let them come in, and suddenly this guy appears 10 kilometers or 5 kilometers behind them.
They got to decide: shoot him, waste time shooting him. You know, I mean, nothing's in range.
In a situation
really.
like that, it's very easy to actually forget about the rest of the team that keeps on burning this entire time towards you, and you're like just like scratching your head what to do with this Hyperion over here. But they are still burning, so you have. It's really hard in a situation like that. It's really stressful.
Yeah.
Everybody can trust me on this one.
Yeah, we've been in a situation in another tournament where this exact thing has happened to us, and you have to.
It was Warlords.
It was Warlords, and you have to decide. We either shoot the battleship that's next to us, and like waste time shooting him, but nothing else that is on the other team is in range. Like they're not close to us. Like we can't shoot them. So you're in a bit of a limbo of like what to do, FC, because we know you're not going to kill in this situation. They know they're not going to kill the Hyperion in time before the Logi gets in range to sort of top it off, and it's just mind games and chaos, and then it just.
Sorry to interrupt you, but there's one more thing that I'm really curious about. Like, what range was the Hyperion towards to the Logi before? Like, what was the distance exactly before he jumped? Because Hyperion has like 80 kilometers lock range, and there's one tiny like thing to the MJD that if you lock somebody during the spool up or before the spool up, and you jump and you maintain the lock range throughout the jump, then you get to have the guy locked after you finish your jump. So
I don't think he's in range.
I don't think either, but like I think it was really close. I think it was really close because he landed like 10 kilometers.
There actually was a way that he could have locked it, because they're assuming they're in a fleet and they have perfect leadership skills.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Chester, because the base locking range of Hyperion is like 70-something kilometers, 75 if I'm not mistaken. And after you apply the leadership bonus level 5 from the level 5 skill from the just squad commander, you get over 80 kilometers. It's 81 or something like that. So there's a good chance that if you start, for example, 80 kilometers from the guy, you might, and he keeps on burning directly from you, you can actually land on top of the guy already locked up. So I'm wondering about that, but I don't think in this case it happened, but it would be cool to know.
I don't think it was either. I think it was just like really fast reaction times and just a lot of confusion. And we were talking all day about, or we saw all day about how teams could get ahead early and then have things slip away and stuff like that. Soreen, tell me about like the difficulties required with like getting something like this off and then just keeping the pressure going forward.
I mean, they kind of had to go. I think someone threw out earlier, I think it was Starfleet, but he said like once they committed, they had to stay committed. And so everyone had to be on point with their communication and on point with what they were doing, because initially they had like kind of that surprise, like maybe Footwork could have predicted like that was coming, the MJD was coming, but maybe not. So once they had that initial surprise, they had to keep going with it and had to keep rolling them. And then on the opposite end, Footwork needed to realize what was going on and then react to that in order to have sort of any kind of counter to it, which, I mean, in the end, they didn't really do much about it besides killing an Algos. But at the same time, you know, you gotta have to maintain composure, be calm, and then kind of go confidently and kind of full force. Like you have to give it 100%, as people say.
So you think they went full swagger mode and just didn't let up?
Yeah, I think they went, I want to say balls to the wall almost with it. They're like, you know what, we're gonna do it. We're gonna MJD behind them. We're just gonna go and tackle everything. You guys have to commit and you have to do it. So even if, you know, something maybe negative or bad would have happened towards the scrub team, they still had to go in for it, because they couldn't just like, well, if our Hyperion jumped, well, we can't really go in now because so and so got tackled or such and such happened. So they kind of had to commit to that and go for it.
Great. Well, very well said. Thank you, everyone, for the analysis and the commentating. It was fantastic. That's it for me and the team here. We're going to pass it to Nash, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you very much, Elise. Yeah, I'll again, quite thinly and quickly. A quick thank you to our sponsors, EveBet, making all this possible. I want to thank the teams that have shown up tonight. The team captains have done an amazing job and worked really hard, whipping their teams into shape and getting them into Joe space in time. Quick thank you to CCP Logibro, who helped us get here in the first place, and obviously all the guys that worked tonight from top to bottom. We have tonight for you Chesser, Elise Randolph, Madden, Chocolate Rain, Starfleet Commander Suetonia, and Theron, and you will definitely see us all back. In fact, the schedule, as it stands at the moment, we have the final episode of Fight Club being broadcast next week Saturday, so same time, casting a lot more content starting on, well, actually a couple of dates where we're going to be filling this month. So we've got a very special show broadcast for the very first time on the 14th of April, which will be presented by Hendrik Taladar. He will be doing a show on either some readings from history or some fan fiction, which would be really good. And then we have various shows starting in May as well, with the very first being Suetonia's show on the 6th. So make sure you keep an eye on the schedule and come and check us out. And with that, we will see you next week. Thanks for watching. On the 14th of April, which will be presented by Hendrik Taladar. He will be doing a show on either some readings from history or some fan fiction, which would be really good. And then we have various shows starting in May as well, with the very first being Suetonia's show on the 6th. So make sure you keep an eye on the schedule and come and check us out. And with that, we will see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Okay, what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna sit 10k off a target, we're gonna blap it really quick, and then we're gonna warp to the run spot. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Outstanding. Okay, stand by.
So hey guys, here's the deal. They got their Prophecy fleet up, and then Razor also has an Oracle fleet. So we should have some interesting stuff about to happen.
So it's going to be like this. We're going to portal through, and at the same time, the triage carriers are going to jump. Just the triage carriers at first. Everyone clear?
Let me see. Oh crap. I think... Will we be able to take on Guardians?
Yeah, they got 4 Guardians. I don't think we should do this.
we can do this. Don't worry about that.
Now we're gonna fucking play some fun games.
My heart's racing.
Relax. all wings align. Primary is the Dominix in 5, 4, 3, 2. Decloak, decloak, decloak. Torpedoes on the Dominix, Dominix, Dominix.
Orbit on me, micro warp drives on. We're moving.
Secondaries, Vipers, and the Omen.
He's in structure. Take him down.
Dude, that revelation out now.
All units on the ramp.
Burn out towards that Guardians now.
All damps on the damnation, all damps on the damnation. Scepter, stay here and tackle prophecies. This is where we fight.
Alright. So I'm carrying 100 times more than my ship is worth. There were some pirates chasing me. There's one guy chasing me through like 5 different systems. I need to get the fuck out of this system.
This little rock right here is worth about 166 million ISK. For some people this might not be a big deal, but for me, it's huge.
Seller 4.2, pretty nice. Gonna produce 4 of them, 2 days, 19 hours, 11 minutes, 44 seconds. We can expect to make 8 to 10 million around there.
51 out of 56 grid. Okay, good. And we've got 5 modules to fit in here. The ship's speed is actually pretty good. It can hit 4K a second. We're gonna hurt that now by adding on some armor buffer.
Up success. Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Yay, salvaged so much fun.
Oh yeah, such fun. It's almost done now. Like less than a week. Oh look. Okay, good. Oh, shit. That is mixing gigs right there.
Archivian silos down, Archivian silos down. Go, 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 silos down. Portal, portal, primary.
Gate is green, gate is green. Sniper skills to long range, utilize BSC. Aggregates idle and green, come on.
Oh shit, how do I warp to something?
E-War drone, all E-War drones on Scum.
Where are you decloaking?
Hacks, will be the secondary. Oh my god, that's a Titan! Holy shit!